Welcome, good morning. This is Breakfast Daily. My name is Jude Duncan. This is the day the Lord has made, and we'll rejoice and be glad in it. I hope you've had a restful, night, and also for those who it rained where you were, I'm sure you had a very good sleep as well. This morning, it's still, the weather is still very cool, and I'm sure wherever you are, you're fine, hail, and hearty. On the show, we bring you the big news headlines. We also delve into it later with a panel discussion that seeks to bring insights, clarity, and all the necessary information you need on all the big news stories we'll be discussing. We'll start off with a quick reminders, and when I say reminders, I just want to tell you some of the things you may have missed out on or have no idea at all that is happening. And we'll start off with the core, or basically something we've been pushing all through this month of March, and I'm referring to our Heritage Month celebration here on Channel 1 TV and of course City FM. What's it about? It's a month we deliberately and intentionally celebrate our culture, we celebrate our tradition, we celebrate our history. It's often said those who don't know their history are bound to repeat the mistakes of the past. We don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past, so we are minded to tell our stories that make us uniquely Ghanaian, right, and also proudly Ghanaian. So we started off with a very colorful and beautiful launch on the 25th of February last month. Of course, the Heritage Caravan took off by the grace of God. They toured 14 selected regions, visited so many places, tourist attractions, scenic places, had so much fun, and they are back now in Accra where it took off. Of course, we also had for you other activities on the side, including our ongoing on-air series, where we've been bringing you exciting conversations on our music, on our food, on ourselves as a people. It airs on TV at 10 a.m. After Chris and Philip would have taken over, and of course at 9 a.m. on the City Breakfast Show with Bernard Avle and the team. So please do all to make it a part of your morning or your daily routine. If you missed the conversation for some reason, it will be up on our social medias, our YouTube channels to be specific. You can go there and watch for yourself all of those exciting conversations. For today's edition, however, Bernard will be continuing the conversation. He started with Kweku Dako Ankra yesterday, and it's on kingdoms and non-centralized states. And this is the part 2 of this conversation, kingdoms and non-centralized states. And it's happening on Wednesday, 11th March 2026 at 9 a.m. on City FM, like I said, and 10 a.m. on Channel 1 TV. So please make it a part of your calendar. Ticket, make sure you are watching, make sure you are learning, make sure you are informing yourself with all of these educative insights into our history. I'll move on to also quickly remind you that the Back to Your Village Food Festival is back and is happening live and colored on the 28th to the 29th of March 2026 at the Ifuasalan Children's Park. Now, this is a unique experience for all of you who are lovers of indigenous Ghana food, right, from all cultures, diverse backgrounds. We'll be delving into our communities to bring to you the meals that tell our story, right? And this promises to be exciting as always. If you've been to any events before, you know that it's not only about the food, it's also about the music, it's also about the networking opportunities because of the kinds of people you meet at these events. So please make it a part of your calendar again to be a part of the Back to Your Village Food Festival. Now, if you are watching and you have the skill and the necessary documentation to be able to make food for commercial purposes, and any of these indigenous foods, the call is out for vendors. If you are watching and you want to be a part of this, please do all to reach the team here at Channel 1 TV. They'll take you through the process, and pretty much you'll be good to go on how you can be a part of this. So don't miss out on it. Take advantage of it, whether as a vendor if you have the means, But most importantly, we want to see you there, not alone, with the family, with your loaded pockets, coming to do your thing. You can eat there because we make provisions for that. And of course, you can also buy in bulk and reserve for later consumption, right? So please do well to be at the Ifosalan Children's Spark. Talking about food, we here at Channel 1 TV and CTFM believe that one of the ways we can significantly improve and transform this country is by eating what we grow. Global shocks everywhere. Countries are now more than ever looking inwardly. How can we also take advantage of all that is going on to ensure that we are safeguarded by these recurrent global shocks? One of the ways we believe we can do so is by eating what we grow, and that is why we've taken it upon ourselves to push this campaign of eating Ghana rice. So let your meal make a difference. Choose Ghana first. How do you choose Ghana? You choose Ghana by purchasing from our farmers, right? Let's support them. Let's help them. Let's grow the space. Let's grow the industry. And we believe that there are so many benefits you can get from that as a country. So this is proudly brought to you by, of course, Agri Impact Limited, the 24-hour economy, and proudly supported by CTFM and Channel 1 TV in collaboration with the MasterCard Foundation. So please, let's do this collectively, right? It's a national clarion call for us to support our own, for us to be, look to an extent inwardly about how we can transform our economy. And we can start with agriculture. And that is why we here at Channel 1 TV are embarking on this course. Don't do it alone. Bring somebody on board. At least for the next month, make sure that the rice you buy is Ghana rice. And with that little decision, we can all collectively make a great impact as to how this economy and our country's future would look like. So thank you for adhering to this call. Having said that, the Channel 1 News app is also live and active. It's active on the Google Play Store. All you need to do is to pick up your phone, click on the Google Play Store, search Channel 1 News online. It will pop up beautifully, and I'm referring to the app. Click on the install button, and with that simple step, you are good to go. What are the benefits? It's enormous, right? You don't miss out on any big news stories. If you go to your phone settings, you can even allow for notifications. So as and when our stories are posted, you get it firsthand, right? You also get quality conversations that happen on Channel 1 TV and CTFM. Our shows are beautifully repackaged and posted on this app. Of course, all of the announcements we make with regards to our programming, our events, all of it is perfectly curated on the app as well. So it's your one-stop shop for everything: news, entertainment, education, public service announcements. You don't want to miss out on it at all. So please do well to download the app and let's get talking in terms of our news and everything that you may be interested in. Amazing. Having given you this quick reminders, right? It's now time to delve into the big headline stories. What are the papers saying? Lots of headlines. Yesterday, Parliament met fierce debates on the floor with regards to a special audit conducted by the Finance Ministry looking into issues around some contracts that had been awarded by the previous government. Some of them have fulfilled, some of them not fulfilled at all, but with monies disbursed. And of course, it generated significant public interest. We had members on both sides of the floor debate. So for example, the roads minister and member of parliament for Adaklu governs, Kwame Agboja, raising concerns about how politicians, rip off the state of hard-earned money that could go into other important sectors of the economy like health, like roads, and for some reason, because of the recklessness, and this is his word, he used the recklessness of politicians, we have to, waste money away, right? Other members of the minority also took turn to speak. We had Kabiru Tia Mahama, who is member of parliament for Wale Wale, also raised concerns about how, it's, according to him, the government of the day seeks to politicize this issue. We heard from the former defense minister, Dominic Nitu, also suggesting that government was seeking to draw attention away from the ongoing cocoa sector issues. Of course, the minority leader will take his turn, and the majority leader as well took his turn to speak on the matter. And according to him, and I'm referring to Honorable Mahama Yariga Boku Central MP and majority leader, the government or the government side of the house would refuse attempts to send the the issue or the report to the Public Accounts Committee, because that committee, as you know, is one of the few committees chaired by the minority. And they were saying that because of the infractions that took place, were reported from the Finance Ministry, having a Public Accounts Committee chaired by a former Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abnal Asari, would not serve, the purpose or the interest of the report as far as the government side is concerned. So clearly, they are calling for a special committee to look into that matter. My guests will join me shortly. We'll ask them their views on this particular issue and how we can move this forward. But I'll bring you the big headlines. The Daily Graphic is reporting audit spots 21 billion fraud on state coffers. Government targets culprits for prosecution. Story by Kester Buram Kranche, and it comes with a photograph of Thomas Nyako Ampim, Deputy Finance Minister. Also on the front page, spillover of Baku conflict, 23 arrested over Galamsey in Odan River Forest Reserve. Story on page 13. Moving on, dismantle barriers to women's interest and development. That's from Professor Ikea Brichum. And Unilever Ghana partners Ghana Health Service to expand oral health care. And these are the big stories on Daily Graphic. If you move to the back page, the Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment is in the news. Dr. Rashid Pelpo. He says, call of strike, let's dialogue. Labour Minister appeals to clock sack. And these are the big stories on the Daily Graphic newspaper. We move on to the Chronicle newspaper. The big front page story. Denchirahima Nina Wusuhene fight over Kwaboso lands. And that comes with a photograph of Balfour Iwa, the second chief of Nina Wusu, and Nana Amayinsua Sarah III, who is the Denchirahima. The big story also here. Nanado leads AU delegation or leads AU election observer mission to Congo. Comes along with a photograph of Ghana's former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Also on the front page, Africa Policy Lens demands full disclosure on BOG Gold Board divestment. Moving on to some other story of Fwase Ayribi Member of Parliament Kojo Opon Nkrumah mad over sale of Ghana's gold reserves. And the big scripture this morning from the Chronicle, as they always do, 2 Samuel chapter 2, verse 16 to 17. 2 Samuel chapter 2, verse 16 to 17. This is the word of the Lord. It says, each one of them seized his opponent by the head and thrust his sword in his opponent's side. So they fell down together. Please, we don't want to fall down together. So let's not fight. This is the short exhortation for the morning. Amen. Moving on, the Daily Guide newspaper, big front page story. Minority raises alarm over new mining royalty law. Comes with a photograph of the Member of Parliament for Okaikwe Central, Patrick Yao Boama. Also here on the front page, wound to me to no faith on March 16th. Story on page 3. NPA extortion case, OSP converts accused into witness. Story on page 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. And again, Ofasa Ayribi MP Kojo Paul Nkrumah takes on Bank of Ghana over 1.3 billion loss claim. Unilever Ghana Health Service partner to expand oral health education. And these are the big stories on the Daily Guide newspaper. We're moving on to the Herald newspaper. 68.7 billion arrears scandal rocks Akufo-Addo regime. Parliament ordered to investigate falsified records and inflated claims. Also on the front page, cancer fears over chemically ripened bananas flooding Accra and Kumasi markets. And also here, OSP changes course in MPA corruption case again. Methodist Church stalwart Georgina Baini to be buried on her birthday. And to some other stories, Malcolm Foundation supports Medical Trust Fund with 500,000 Ghana cedis. And these are the big stories on the Herald newspaper. The News Center is also reporting 6 billion Daman mine at stake. And the Lands Minister, Ama Kofi Boys, has his picture, accompanying this particular story. They also say the selection of new operator shrouded in secrecy. To some other stories, MPP registration must adhere to party rules. That's from Koka Odenehu Kweku Apia is his name. Consult broadly before SIM re-registration. Telco CEO Silva Owusu Ankoma, who is the new CEO of the Telco Chamber, telecom chamber, took over from Ken Ashigbe, who is now doing some mining related activities. Dr. Johnson Isiama, who is the Bank of Ghana governor, is also in the news. Gold sale, rebalanced portfolio, not a loss. That's from Dr. Isiama. 5G key to Ghana's digital leap. That's from Ralph Mupita, President and CEO of MTN Group. APL demands inquiry into Bank of Ghana's 22 tons gold sale. We'll move on to some other story. The new publisher is reporting. Baba Jamal's first day in Parliament. A picture is worth 1,000 words, as you can see on your screen. And guys, please, we are being told that he was meditating. You know, he wasn't doing what the picture seems to connote. We are being reliably informed that he was meditating, you know, so please, let's allow. You know, the campaign can be very tiring sometimes, right? So please, let's show some grace, you know, let's not be quick to, yeah, you know, of course, you know that as a devout Muslim, he's also fasting, so he needs to meditate as and when, so please, let's be minded. But yes, the new publisher is reporting, Baba Jamal's first day in Parliament, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it comes with a photograph of the new Ayawaso East MP Baba Jamal Mohammed Ahmed in Parliament on his first day as he was sworn in as new MP for Ayawaso East. Golden defiance, Ghana snaps US-China warnings. Also here on the front page, 93 Yahoo boys busted with 73 tortured victims. Akufo-Addo to lead AU observer mission in Congo presidential election. I'll take you to the custodian newspaper, the big front page story. Tension mounts in NDC as angry party supporters cry over no jobs and failed oral promises. Also here, I'll contest MPP Ashanti region chairmanship position. That's coming in from Chairman Kweku Odenoho Apia. And some other stories, Al-Hassan Suyini, Deputy Roads Minister, inspects road projects in Tamale. And here, upon Nkrumah tackles BOG over 1.3 billion loss. And Frank Arnaud, Member of Parliament for Insawam Adrojiri, also in the news, he says he urges Ghana to criminalize ecocide. The publisher newspaper, Comac, exposes Star Oil and Goil over fuel supply disruption. Story on page 3. Also here, minority rejects NHIS debt claims. Moving on to some other stories, the NDC foot soldiers angry over recruitment process. Akufo-Addo leads AU election team to Congo. Gold Board Women of Valor and the need for bold leadership. Story on page 4 of the publisher newspaper. Finally, I end with the Supreme newspaper and the big front page story. Magdan Aviation may lose private jet terminal to Ibrahim Mahama amid sabotage. Also here, Bank of Ghana details post-debt crisis recovery, says economic rebounding after turbulent 2024. And here, the National Security Coordinator is also in the news, says strengthening the state COP Razak Osman's expanding security footprint. To some other news, cause of youth endorse Nanabi for MPP vice chairman, touts his experience. And these are the big newspaper stories. Let me take you to some online stories as reported by some of the big online portals. And I'll start off with the citynewsroom.com. Scrap AI aptitude tests for security recruitment. That's from the minority leader, Alexander Apenyo Markin. Moving on to some other stories. Shippers Authority probes alleged Middle East surcharge on earlier shipments. Moving on, victims of Ashaman military raid drag state to court demand compensation. In Techiman, the police have seized 397 slabs of suspected cannabis in charcoal bags. The Auditor General's report should lead to prosecutions, not scare tactics. That's from Wale Wale MP Dr. Kabiru Mahama. 2 police officers die in motor accident in Ofuase Ayiribi. Forensic audit reports prevents loss of over 150 million in teacher allowances. Extend land transit ban to fruit products. That's from FABAC. Finance Ministry, looters of public funds will be held accountable. And these are the big stories on citynewsroom.com. So, yes, these are the big stories as rightly brought to you. Pretty shortly, my guest will join me and we'll delve into the big conversations. But would love to hear from you what your thoughts are on all the issues we'll be looking at. Of course, we'll start with the Finance Ministry, where the Deputy Minister and Member of Parliament for Soja Mine Ampim, Nyako Thomas, was on the floor yesterday, giving information as to how some contracts, were awarded, some without due process, and some without a clear, proper, structured funding, plan. And of course, it raised lots of concern. So we'll be delving into all of those and more. Of course, the Middle East tension is also up for discussion later on the show. Would love to hear from you, your comments, your questions, your contributions. The show is live and interactive. My name is Jude Duncan. I'll take a quick break. When I'm back, we have the details for you. Don't go away.
As part of Heritage Month 2026, we bring you the On-Air series, Our Culture, Our Story, Our Identity. In week 1, the sound of our identity.
A great one from the legend himself, Charles Kojofosu.
In week 2, Our Past, Our Power.
So the African Personalities idea, first and foremost, started somewhere in the 1890s by a movement called Gonfanti Movement.
In week 3, Faces of the Nation. In week 4, What We Eat, Who We Are.
A typical Fanti palm nut soup is a United Nations.
Is it soup?
Yes, a United Nation soup. So you have fish in there. I will not make palm nut soup unless I have periwinkle.
The Heritage On Air Series 2026, Our Culture, Our Story, Our Identity will air every Monday to Thursday on 97.3 CDFM at 9 a.m. and on Channel 1 TV at 10 a.m. The Heritage On Air Series 2026 is proudly sponsored by GCB Bank, GTP, and Bethel Dental. Feel the energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM. Sweden Secondary School invites all alumni and stakeholders to the 67th anniversary and homecoming celebrations. It's happening from Friday the 20th of March to Sunday the 22nd of March 2026. On Friday, How I Got There, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Year groups check-in and roll call. Gary Sockings competition. Cadet course ceremony from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. All students convoy. Drive to Swesco, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Candlelight procession from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Welcome cocktail with alumni and staff of the school. Meet and greet with Kompa Band performing live at the forecourt of the school complex from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, speech and prize giving day from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. All year groups lunch from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Alumni dance party from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. On Sunday, anniversary Thanksgiving service at 8 a.m. A great opportunity to reconnect with your old mates. Contact your year group president now. Semper Cum Optimus, always with the best. on this happy trip back. Ago.
Welcome. This is Breakfast Daily. My name is Jude Duncan, sitting in for your regular guest host. I beg your pardon, Nana Tufo Boateng. And it's now time for us to delve into the big stories, going behind the headlines to interrogate the issues, bring the facts as it is, and also bring some insights and clarity to what the stories really are. And I'm pleased, very, very pleased, privileged to have joining me Alhaji Kamaldeen Abdullahi. You know, he's a Deputy Communications Director for the New Patriotic Party. Alhaji, good morning and welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Jude, good morning, and good morning, and thanks for having me.
Amazing. How are you doing?
Terrific.
Great. Also joining us is a very, very regular on the show, Koshi Dede, who is an engineer and also a policy analyst. And Koshi, good morning and welcome.
Policy analyst.
I've given you the title.
Good morning. Good morning.
Amazing. I hope you are well.
Yes.
All right, so the big conversations we'll be looking at today. Yesterday we had the Finance Ministry through the Deputy Minister Thomas Ampem Nyako on the floor of Parliament. The Daily Graphic captures it and said, audit spots 21 billion fraud on state coffers. Government targets corporates for prosecution. It led to a series of debates really across the side. Governor Sagboja, the Communications Ministry, Government Communications Minister Felix also was on the floor. The Deputy Energy Minister Richard Jan Mensah also took his turn to explain issues. On the minority side, we heard from the likes of Abdul Kabiru Mahama, Walewale MP. We heard from Dominic Nitu, former Defense Minister Kennedy Nyako also spoke on the issues. We even heard from Menchia South Member of Parliament, Nanaya Asafu-Eje, who said government was engaging in pure propaganda, you know, calling the report, in his words, garbage. Is it really the case? Is there something we need to look at from what we've seen? In fact, Dominic Nitu also said that government was using this to divert attention from the ongoing cocoa sector challenges. So my guest will be helping us bring some clarity to this, like I've said. Elijah, I'll start off with you. It was grim from a pure perspective of like the ordinary Ghanaian, you know, some onlookers listening to the Deputy Minister yesterday outline, you know, all of the challenges. In fact, when Governor Abuja took his turn to speak, he made mention of the fact that there were some road contracts where 29 million had been mobilized for the contractor under the MPP administration, you know, and they signed deals and agreements to the effect that even if they are unable to come to site after mobilization, the agreement suggested that they could keep, you know, this $29 million. And it brings the question of, are we really minded about the struggles of this country? I don't know what your initial thoughts are on this report.
Thank you very much. I think that I'll have to say good morning once again to you, Jude, and good morning to Engineer, as well as our viewers out there. You see, graft, in whatever form it occurs, must be fought by us all. Or corruption, in whatever form it appears, must be fought by us all. And you see, when you have a right and you decide to sit on your right or waive your right at a point, your moral standing to raise it again later will be questionable. Why? We've seen governments upon governments in the fourth Republican Constitution. We had the NDC 1, the NDC 2, the MPP 1, MPP 1, MPP 2. Now we are having to deal with NDC2 and NPP also coming again. That way, for over 30 years straight, we've had. And our constitution tells us that before a government exits, there is something we call transition. Within that transition, handing over notes is prepared. Every single aspect of the government will be discussed. Okay? The incoming government forms a government. What is expected of the incoming government is to continue with what the outgone government has done. Where you think that there are problems, pinpoint them, bring them out, call them to come and answer. It is a going concern. Why? The same constitution establishes the Auditor General's Department and is supposed to audit public funding. Okay? Now, for someone who knows all this to come and stand and make wild allegations, no wonder somebody sitting in the parliament will call it garbage. Why? If a road minister says that some 29 million Ghana cedi has actually been given to somebody, and some deals were actually entered into, to say they're going to cite a loan, then the nation forfeits the 29 million, that is a wild allegation.
If a second certificate is not raised.
That what? What does that mean?
So, you know, the idea was that 29 million for mobilization was paid.
Yes.
And if after mobilization, if government is not able to raise the remaining funding, the company undertaking the project, you know, is at liberty to keep the money paid as mobilization.
So if you are questioning
fees.
the practice and you think that is not a proper convention, what are you supposed to do as a representative of government? And for that matter, Ghana, as a minister. Okay? You don't just come say it to the media and work on what steps have you taken to give a paper trail to it and then raise those red flags. Then anyone who is supposed to deal with it with evidence, like the Attorney General or whoever, would ensure that that is properly done. Or the PAC is going to deal with it. And whoever is supposed to be search charged, they search charge the person. That is why I'm saying that, look, you see, we shouldn't be talking as if we have no institutions. This scaremongering, this coming out to speak to emotions of people and wanting people to believe that the outgone government was bad and that you are good, I think is unfortunate. Why? Under the MPP, didn't we also see them being handed over documents which were also questionable? We saw. People were prosecuted. Some decided to even pay through plea bargain and all that. So it is something that happens. That is why I could not have agreed more with Kabiru when he says that, look, let us appear quite practical. Let us appear quite frank. Raise some of these issues if you have to raise them. But don't present it as though you want someone to look bad when, in fact, the nitty-gritty of the matter has not even been delved into. Why? Yesterday in Parliament, the Speaker had cause to refer the entire report to PAC, Public Accounts Committee, and gave them some 3 weeks to work on it, scrutinize it, and whoever is supposed to answer a question must be hauled before the committee, give answers to it. It tells you that an audit report is not a finality. It's a work in progress. So why do we have, quote unquote, I've seen some publishing, somebody will say 68 billion rot. When in fact, even the report yesterday presented, what was questionable was 8 billion, and not 68 billion. And then somebody comes to say 68 billion rot under MPP. Why do we do this to ourselves as a country? The same way we did to Oral. When we came, we said some $21 billion could be retrieved from people. Oral. Okuzedo Ablakwa, Foreign Affairs Minister, is on record to have said that some $21 billion will raise our hopes. And Ghanaians believe in it. Only for Attorney General to come and say it was garbage.
He didn't say that. The president...
the garbage is my word anyway.
Yes.
But he says that what they brought was actually not tenable in terms of evidence.
But they've made some headway, right? Because according to the president...
Did he say what I'm saying or not?
According to the president, 600 million of...
So it's 600 million guys, 21 billion.
It's an ongoing program.
With all respect, Jude.
No.
So it's 600 million, $21 billion. 600 million Ghana cedis. Is it equity to 21 billion?
Some of the cases are still in court.
So you're still supporting it when the man himself, who is supposed to be having the documents, the evidence, tells you that all that they raised were fantasies. And that there was nothing, no documents, no evidence to prove that. And that he could not speak to the $21 billion. The same Attorney General, who is supposed to go and get that money for you, says that I could not even speak to this matter because what they brought, there's no evidence on it. And we ran into town with it, castigate people, chastise people, run people's reputation down, only to come out and then prove that it was a lie. Why do we do this in the country? And I am saying that whoever is given a mandate, you are in the driver's seat, please work with the law.
Interesting.
If Kamal is actually culpable, Kamal hasn't done the right thing in terms of figures and whatever, call Kamal to answer. If he doesn't answer and you have sufficient evidence, go to court. Whether Kamal is there or not, you are allowed to go to court and get the money for us. When this country, when Matamidu went to court to get, will you miss money for us? Didn't he try? You could even do it. That's a citizen. So I'm saying that the institutions should not just do, don't let us reduce this to propaganda. Many have come to call this propaganda. Some have given all sort of names, garbage. Some say it is just rumor mongering. Some say it's just to come and scare people. Some say you want to divert attention from the material issues that is happening to us today. It's because of the way you present it. Okay? So I would say that, look, it was a call in the right direction for the speaker to have referred this matter to the PAC. We are going to look at, we are going to follow keenly what the PAC will do about this. And the outcome, the law is clear. Whoever is supposed to pay some money or refund some money, let the person be surcharged. And let that person pay back the money to the state. When we do things nicely like this, devoid of propaganda, devoid of PR, I think it will be better. And again, I will end by saying whether MPP or NDC, whoever is culpable, whoever is culpable, let the person come to answer. Because our consolidated fund is ours as Ghanaians. It's not for any individual.
Interesting. Thank you for that opening remarks, Kamal Dean. Let me come to an engineer, right? And I think Kamal raises 4 strong points. He starts off by saying that there's a government transitions team that is mandated to look into all aspects of governance. So why now, right? He also talks about the fact that to an extent it smacks of scaremongering by the government in an attempt to divert from the real issues. He also says that there are state institutions mandated to look at all of these. You are an engineer. A lot of what you are saying or discussing involves people who are also in the fraternity. I listened to Honorable Kennedy Nyakon, who said that, see, a lot of the time when some of these things happen, you are quick to point fingers at the politicians. Meanwhile, they are not the ones who sign off these checks.
That's right.
It's the technocrats, and to an extent, the engineers working in the ministries. So, Koshi, Ghana Institute of Engineering, I'm not saying you are the ones responsible, but should we start asking questions of those who work as technocrats for our ministries?
Definitely so. Particularly yesterday, I heard that the Minister for Roads had stopped the work at the Tekwashi interchange because of traffic. I don't know how true that is.
It was from the contractor,
yes,
who said that they've suspended the ongoing diversion because they didn't anticipate the level of the traffic.
So for me, again, that is a sad thing to happen. One, because as engineers, we deal with traffic management. We deal with traffic flow. You must know the traffic count on that road. By now, I mean, nobody should tell me that they don't know the traffic count on that road. So if you are going to do construction, you're going to do diversion, you should be able to determine how that diversion should be done effectively, not to disrupt the lives of Ghanaians. So for me, it's sad that it should happen and then we stop. Because this work was awarded how many years ago? And by now, all the planning, all the data you need to plan for diversion should be available to you. So it's a sad thing to happen because it impacts on the engineering practice. It says that we do not think through it very well. That is, and so then it goes back to our colleagues in the ministries or in the urban roads or highways. That how did they approve it? How did they come to approve it? When they knew all the data, when they had all the data. So these things are signs that we as professionals generally, not just engineers in this country, need to look at ourselves and question, because sometimes it's not just about law, it's also about the ethics of professions. Because when you say you are a professional, you are a doctor, for that matter, sometimes it's not about the law that is written down, it's about the ethics, the things that you have sworn to do. Similarly, when it comes to engineering practice, when it comes to lawyers, it's about the ethics. And all these things are about upholding professional practice. So that when any other professional or your colleague comes into this country, they look around and say, oh, the lawyers in this country are reputable. The engineers in this country are reputable and they are comparable to engineers in other countries. So for me, these are worrying things. So let's come back to the issues that are happening in Parliament when it comes to the issue of alleged corruption or funds not being administered properly. Again, like you rightly said, the people who approve for works completion, this has been done, go and take this money, they are technocrats.
Okay.
The evidence that must come before them is it should be substantial. That if you say 100 kilometers of roads has been completed, it's measurable. The specs for that design is there. If you're supposed to lay maybe 6 inches of asphalt, has it been laid? And that is why I see a lot of complaints about, oh, the roads get damaged very quickly even after we have just finished the road. So the question is, the work of technocrats can always be measured and evaluated. So if you are a smart politician and a road is finished and the road gets damaged, and then they point fingers, oh, the politicians have taken 10%. The next thing you as a road minister must do is to call for an audit of the road.
Absolutely.
You can call the road and see whether you have 6 inches of asphalt. You can test the material to see whether the mix was right. You understand? And then the engineers who signed or the people who approved the road must be held accountable. Now, again, there's also the other part. What was the axle road for the design? If the axle design was, say, 11 tons per axle, and suddenly we have 15 tons axle load on the road, it would naturally get damaged. So for us, there are reasons why roads also get damaged, for which proper investigations must be done. It doesn't necessarily mean that there has been corruption. So all these things need to be looked at very closely. But I say that if politicians themselves want to be honest and if they want to deal with issues, they should hold the technocrats accountable for some of these things. So
the buck stops with the politicians.
It stops with the politicians.
Even though technocrats have a role to play.
Because at the end of the day, no politician can steal money, public funds, without the connivance of public servants. Without the technocrats, they cannot. Because if they do, the records will show.
Yeah.
And so somewhere along the line, the technocrats are conniving with them. So if the politicians say, let's go and look at the technocrats, then the politicians themselves must come with clean hands. I remember this case of Dr. What's his name? Who was in charge of roads during Dr. Kufuor's time? What's his name? Dr. Anani. You remember there was this issue of a certain check coming before him, which was supposed to be about 50,000 and zeros had been added. I always remember that case very well.
Yeah.
Then I asked myself, who were the people who prepared that check and put in front of him? Who signed it?
That was just fundamental question, though.
Exactly. What happened to the people? Who were the people who went, because the document went through several processes to get to him. And then he suddenly noticed that, a 0 has been added or 2 zeros have been added. What happened to the people in that office? Nothing happens. So for me, these are the things that we need to seriously look at if we want to address the issue of corruption.
Wow.
Also, again, we have politicized public service to the extent that anytime there's a change in government, everybody says, these are the NPP people, these are the NDC people, so sack them, promote me. So you do not have a meritocracy within our public service anymore. So people know that nothing will be done to them. Worst case, if a government comes, I'll be pushed aside, somebody else will come in. So our politicians, again, need to be honest with us and say, how do we deal with the rot within our public service?
Amazing.
And
Interesting perspectives, right? So Kamaldeen points to state agencies and say, go there, look at the issues. You also say, while technocrats are to accept a level of the blame,
yes,
the responsibility and ultimate responsibility ends with the politician. And I like the point you make on meritocracy. I think you also touched a bit on continuity in government,
yes,
right?
Yes,
when
it boils around, you see, this interconnects. When I said going concern, and engineer says, look, it isn't only the politician who is working at that public service. We have, if you like, civil servants or public servants working under him. Now, all these officers who are supposed to be there on merits, okay, are supposed to aid the political appointee to ensure that the outcome that we desire is achieved. Okay? And I could not have agreed more with the more honorable member of parliament, Osenya, who raised it, and engineer also asserting same position. That look, the rot sometimes is not even seen by the I mean, to be done by the politician. We should look into the activities of our civil servants at those ministries, those agencies. Okay, we should look into the activities. The example he gave of a check of 50,000 and then some zeros were added. We may even have them more. And then when they end up, they'll tell you it's an accounting error.
Exactly.
As a defense. I'm telling you, they'll tell you it is an accounting error, and then you go back because you have actually been able to bust the person. He says it's an accounting error. Then he has a window to escape. All these things, we don't look at it. And then we politicians will come to parliament, be at each other's throat, giving it and take because of political mileage that we need outside. I think it's unfortunate. And the very person who is supposed to be held responsible is left off the hook.
The deputy minister says that the report exposes the systemic plunder and abuse of the public financial management system. He also described it as a rotten system designed by the politicians.
Systemic plunder.
To fleece the people of Ghana. I listened to Tamale North Member of Parliament, Al-Hassan Suini, I'm sure he's a friend, and he said that each time a government, or a regime had changed in government, it was through corruption. Whether it was military era or constitutional democracy, people would vote because of corruption. Governments were toppled in coups because of corruption, right? As a political party, are you worried that a year after office, right, these serious allegations are being raised by some persons, who were in government during your tenure?
You see, like I said earlier on, this is not new. Officers have been tried in the past of past governments and in fact convicted and even served their sentence.
But in 69 years of independence, how many cases?
So that is why I'm building a point. I'm trying to say that what he has just said is not new at all. That is why he said it's a systemic issue. We should look at entirely the structure of our governance, the system. Where are the loopholes? How does corruption occur? At what point can we say there's a clerical error or there's an accounting error? And we have left it so. All these things are supposed to be. It's not a matter for NDC MPP alone. That's the difficulty. As soon as we reduce it to a matter of NDC MPP alone, then of course the audit institution that we have put in place will not even function properly. Okay? Meanwhile, it is supposed to be all officers at the ministries and agencies and departments. Yet, we have decided to narrow it to mean politicians. And that is why your question goes like, issues have been raised against past government or immediate past government. It shouldn't be immediate past government. That's why I said even past governments have had people prosecuted, okay, and convicted. Now, what can we do going forward? There should be a panacea. There should be a solution to it. Which solution is that, look, we have decided to go dig it out in some of these ministries. Okay? And somebody told me, internet no lie, computer no lie. Once it has stored it, and there's a way we're supposed to, if we guide against it, even 1,000 years, you go back and visit it again. Now, once you also digitalize everything that you are doing within those ministries, sometimes it is very difficult for someone to have, hands in changing some of these things. So for me, it is a way to go. Let's look at the system. Let's ensure the digitalization that we are talking about actually works in our ministries. Let's give proper training to officers who are there now. Let them further up their knowledge in terms of how to handle some of these things digitally. Then, at the end of the day, it will go a long way to reduce the corruption that we're talking about. Otherwise, just as Ampim gave a report, the same way a new government comes tomorrow, that government is also going to come out with a report to say that, look, this happened yesterday, that happened yesterday. But for me, all this thing happening, timing matter. Just next year, God willing, by the end of this year, next year, we're going into a campaign season. Okay? All parties will be upbeat. And whatever you bring up, they'll tell you it's politics. Yeah, whatever you bring up, they say, oh, you are going to fight your opponent because you want advantage.
So this is the perfect time to deal with it.
The perfect time is when you are sworn in. Just when you are done with your transition. Don't sit down and tell us that, okay, you have time to work. You are supposed to look into the books before you even take other policies. What happened at Cocoa Board? As soon as they came in, the CEO was given. The first policy was that let's go to the board and get some board approval and buy cars. Then when issues came up, we say, oh, even the old government, we did not even look into them. The books are there. We're supposed to make sure that. What stopped you from scrutinizing those books before even making a decision to go and buy cars? You didn't do that. So I am saying that sometimes we misplace our priorities. So if the matter is there before you, the timing is matter. Use the first quarter or first 2 quarters. Look into the books properly. If you need an external auditor to come and look, let them do it properly. When they are done, those who have to answer questions, let them come and answer. Then you do a press conference and say, this is what I have been given. This is what we are taking off. Our new policy will start in the 3rd quarter or 4th quarter. This is understandable. But you don't come and then do your own things. Then the next one, when you are having a problem, you say, oh, even yesterday, the one who was there misappropriate funds. Oh, to tell people that you not misappropriate funds, nobody will take you serious.
But
so I think timing is matter.
are you admitting that your government did not also put in place the necessary guardrails to prevent some of these things?
Governance has always been a growing concern, like I indicated earlier on. I would be very unfair to my government if you say we didn't do some work. Why? We had laws under procurement. We had amended certain laws as well. We had ensured that some e-payments were done, just like the other government. We ameliorated some of the existing things we did. So, like government upon government, we try to do this. And see, I've always said the 69 years of our country, we aren't that bad, for God's sake. I saw how City FM started. I saw how City TV started, Channel 1 TV started. I saw the buildings you were in, the kind of studios you have. Today, you don't have that. 69 years ago, Ghana wasn't like this. The road we ply on Tesano, from Circle to Achimota, just not too long ago, when I came to Accra from the north, from Achimota barrier to Circle, I could spend 4 hours, when it was a single route. It took President Kufuor and Co to come and widen up. Tetekwashi, the work that you are there doing, wasn't there. Today, 69 years down the line, we have had it. So I'm not saying that, yes, we are there yet, but we have actually advanced as a country. And in so doing, whatever we are doing as a country, let us see ourselves in the positive and help to better whatever we are. But we shouldn't say nothing at all has been done. I think when we do that, we are not doing this.
Kamaldeen says that it's not all gloom.
It's not all gloom, yeah.
There's been some successes that has been chalked 69 years on. But I want to segue back to the issues around whether or not we've seen our political class do more to curb some of these things. 69 years on, a dozen of appointees have been jailed. Is it because the corruption is not rampant, or there's possibly a problem with our justice delivery system? I don't know where you want to take it from.
Yeah, there's a problem with our willingness to prosecute people. There's clearly a problem. And let me also state that 69 years is a long time. And if you say we want to pat ourselves in the back and say, oh, but it's not too bad, I say, let's simply compare ourselves to China. What China has done for itself in 40 years, you are 69 years old. I mean, if you say 69, see what China has done for itself in 40 years. We should not in any way be patting ourselves on the back. We have lost a lot. Look, the countries that we began with, we had the same level of performance index as us.
Singapore,
Malaysia, they have all gone. So for us to simply sit around, look around our neighbors, look at Togo, look at Cote d'Ivoire, and say, oh, we haven't done too badly, for me, it's a sad statement. We shouldn't be glorifying ourselves. Now, we'd like to talk about the fact that, oh, systemic problems. Systemic problems are corrected by people. They are corrected by people, but we are not willing to hold people accountable in this country. So anytime there's a systemic, oh, let's go and make new laws. Let's go and do this. Let's buy IT systems. Look, let me tell you, 2 days ago, I went to Ghana Water Company. I was going to pay for water bill. I got there. After a few minutes, the lady looks at me and says, oh, the system is down. So I should go and come back, or I should wait. I mean, then I asked myself, someone has come in to pay money. You think a private company will do that? That's the simple question I ask myself. Will a private company do that? I walk in to pay money. Then you say, oh, the system is down, so I should either wait or go and come. So when I put this, a lot of my colleagues started laughing at me. So oh, you are old school. Go on do an app on your phone and make. I say yes, but someone still walks in, and then we should lay all those stuff off and let everybody go on their phone and pay. you understand? So the systems that we design, unfortunately, most of this idea about digitalization is all about procurement. There is no genuine attempt to solve problems. Look, a few years ago, you remember we had SNET going to buy a software for $100 and something million. What's happened to that case? Nothing. But when a poacher goes to Ankasa Game Reserve to go and shoot rats, he's jailed within a few months.
And those who are entering our forest reserves illegally are walking about.
Exactly, and those who are doing illegal mining, big money, whenever big money comes into force, you realize that no justice is delivered or justice is delayed. So we have a problem.
So you say the political will, but I asked you, is there a problem also with our justice delivery?
Yes, but it all begins with the politics. Who appoints the judges? Who holds them accountable? It all comes down to the politics.
The separation of powers principle,
there is separation,
which suggests that the judges are independent-minded.
They are independent-minded, but the prosecutor. Look, I mean, let's go to court. Look at the Attorney General. How often do they pursue cases? Seriously.
There's oral.
So let me give you a typical example. This government came into office. Cases that were being prosecuted, a lot of them were simply dropped. So I asked myself, was it genuine? Or is it coincidence that most of the people's cases who were dropped were affiliated to the party?
They gave, to be fair, in the case of Ato Forsen, and Jakpa on the ambulance case, reasons were given. They even suggested that the way the former Attorney General went about tampering with evidence, I think before too, the Attorney General came out to give some explanation. So it would be a bit unfair to say the case, was dropped without
Has the nation lost money? What has happened to those ambulances? Today, when you drive through, I think the new road that...
The Mojamhama bypass.
Exactly. You see ambulances parked there.
The ambulances.
So again, a few years ago, we lost Pajeros. They were left in the sun to rot away. Whose money is it? We have ambulances left there to rot because we simply discontinue a case and we leave it there. Now we are going to procure new ambulances, isn't it? So you see that there is no genuine attempt to really solve problems. All we are interested in throwing out procurements and then making it look like we are trying to solve problems. So all these issues of digitalization, we are doing this. It's all, most of it is about procurement. You see, no law, no single law can correct people's behavior. It is only when we begin to hold people accountable to the laws that people's behavior will change. But here in Ghana, we are not willing to do that. We look people in the face and say, this is my friend. So let's let it be. Tomorrow, so continuously we see even within the political class a question of scratch my back and I'll scratch your back. So really we are not changing anything, and that is why I say that even the professional class, if we are to look at our own ethics without laws, we should be able to straighten this country, but we are not also willing. And one Joy FM journalist put it quite frank. Brilliantly recently.
Everybody's trying to not make the problem apply to them.
Everybody is trying to make money to overcome the problem. So when the roads are bad, I must buy a Land Cruiser. When the water is not flowing, I must dig a well in my house.
Or airport hills.
Exactly. So you see that the political class and the middle class, the upper middle class and everybody is not interested in solving the problem.
Kamadi, is that what it is? That the case?
You see,
you're in government a few months ago.
What is worrying?
Engineer gave, I mean, he compared us to some countries, like Malaysia, like Singapore. Of course, Malaysia, for instance,
and even China
had independence with us the same year, 1957. And no doubt, Malaysia has gone beyond us. When you take Singapore, in fact, they have also gone ahead of us. But they all have a history. What kind of government did they use to ensure that discipline was instilled? And what kind of government are we using as a country throughout the 69 years? Okay, this is the fundamental issue that we need to look at. We are having to do or to deal with political instability for a very long time. At a point in the name of democracy, this will come in. then coup d'etat comes in. That comes in. So there is no consistency in terms of policy rollout. Okay? I'm not holding the fort for Ghana, but I'm trying to say that how far we have come, we shouldn't just say we have done so bad. But because of the situation we find ourselves in, okay, we could not have done exactly what they have done. In Saudi Arabia, for instance, go and see the kind of development, rapid development in Saudi Arabia. Those who went to Hajj 20 years ago or 30 years ago, today when they go to Saudi Arabia, they'll be missing. Because they have transformed all the cities to modern cities. Why? Because they have a government that is consistent. It's a monarch. Nobody says this, one government says this. Our situation, when AMPIM comes to give a report, MPP have their spectacle, CPP have their spectacle, NDC has their spectacle. At the end of the day, we are even divided as to which one is the common.
Let me
so
read.
I think that's the difficulty.
Let me read something for you. Let me read something for you. Agenda 111, 35 contractors took $7.9 million but failed to mobilize Finance Ministry.
Good.
Excerpts of it read, the Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyako Ampim has disclosed that 35 contractors under the Agenda 111 initiative received $7.9 million in mobilization funds but failed to mobilize to site or deliver work commensurate with the payment. Presenting the report of the Auditor General on arrears and payables at the end of 2024 in Parliament on Tuesday, the Deputy Minister said an audit of projects under Agenda 111 uncovered significant irregularities in the utilization of funds paid to contractors. And the story goes on and on and on, and he provides some background to it. I'm raising this because in your initial remarks, you said that an audit report does not necessarily, confirm wrongdoing, right? But in the case of Agenda 111, it was announced as a very huge campaign promise in response to a global pandemic at the time. In fact, the promise made by the president at the time was that it was going to be completed in a year. That didn't happen, obviously. It's been many years after. We barely can point to one fully functioning hospital,
as a result of that
promise. As a result of that promise. So if you say that, the report is not finality, the state of affairs in terms of whether or not these hospitals have been built sorts of, tell a different story. So I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
If you listened to me earlier, I said that graft in whatever form it occurs must not be countenanced by us at all. Or corruption in whatever form it occurs must never be supported by us at all. I said that earlier. This your question about Agenda 111 reminds me of what happened to E-Blocks under John Mahama 1. He had a good intention. I want to build 200 secondary schools through the ministry and call them E-Blocks to provide it. What was the end? Out of the 200, they even struggled to get 46. And most of it were uncompleted. It took Akufo-Addo government to also come and say, let's do audit. I'm just trying to, let's do audit. Let's look at what it is. Where have they gotten to, and we complete. To the extent that they completed one in Volta region where we had commissioning was a problem. You remember that all this. So I am trying to say that yesterday we had that problem. Today we are having this problem raised. And now your question as to why I said audit report is not final. Okay? When some of these things are already unearthed, that people take money and they have not even gone to site. They've not even mobilized. Yes, that is why the Speaker of Parliament yesterday said, if this is what it is, refer it to PAC. PAC should do a proper job. Give us a report. We'll look at whatever surcharge that is supposed to be given to whoever. Whoever has taken a penny, let that person pay. I am not for anyone who will take money, 7 million, 8 million Ghana cedis, and you don't even mobilize to site. I'm not for that person. Okay? And I'm saying it doesn't happen just yesterday. Government upon government, we see this. And that's why engineer says, to what end? Is this country going to be plundered this way continuously and we are quiet? So if it is the issue about Agenda 111, deal with it to the end. If it is Mr. A who has taken that money and you came into offices 1 year ago or 2 years ago and you have not called Mr. A to ask questions, you have not gone to the site to find out whether tangibly the work has been done, like engineer rightly told you. These are things you can verify. and you are quiet about it, then of course you are complicit yourself to a large extent.
Except the majority say that the Public Accounts Committee, they don't trust it to do a good job because...
So who will do the job?
So they want a special
The
committee.
Constitution has prescribed which committee to do the work.
Yeah,
the Constitution has prescribed which institution to do the work. So
but the argument they make is that the Public Accounts Committee is one of the few committees chaired by the minority. A lot of the infractions raised, had to do with the finance ministry. The current chair of the Public Accounts Committee was a minister of state at the finance ministry. In fact, she was a long-serving deputy minister. So it will not serve in the public interest to have somebody who...
No, we are not being fair to her. We are not being, whoever is in that chair. That's Constitution. You see, we don't do things out of the blue. The Constitution says and prescribes how the committee is going to be looked at.
Yeah.
Okay, it's going to be formed. The composition is already designed.
But is it not a conflict of interest?
It is not. It
I mean, how can you? No, but
the woman has done nothing.
No, Kamadi, how can you be a judge in your own court? Like, because a lot of the things that happened, she was there at the ministry.
You are insinuating that the woman is complicit in this matter.
No, in fact, the majority leader.
She's not.
No, the majority leader even said that it wasn't to suggest that she was complicit. So that's agreed. But the point is that a lot of the contracts that were agreed, happened during her tenure. She's
not the one. First of all, whoever is in that chair is not a contractor. If it happens that her company, that is direct, is different. But this matter, she's not. And the matter is that we have all structures put in place on the table. Who is in charge? This minister. Who is that person? They call that person to order. You cannot.
What if it happens that the question of who approves this and it's found to be...
Yeah, when we get there, we cross it. If it happens that she's neck deep in it and has a role to play in it, that is why you can raise conflict of interest. But if she has nothing at all to do with it and she's supposed to do a constitutional duty or perform a constitutional duty, I don't think we can stop them from doing that way. I'm saying, just yesterday it has been referred to them. Once it has been referred to the committee, let the committee do their work. Let us, by the end of the 3 weeks, we see the result of the committee. Then at the end of the day, who is supposed to answer questions, those people are called to the committee and they answer questions.
It's not necessary for the Public Accounts Committee. It's not necessary for a special committee in this.
Yeah, I think it was a special committee. The audit in itself, the audit conducted itself is a special committee. Okay, and now having done your work, then it comes to Parliament. Parliament, like I said, they have structures. My brother here is a parliamentarian. He knows how it works. He can't even get up in Parliament and just say, I want to make a statement. He has to go through a process. So everything is a procedure. Okay, once the procedure is laid, you cannot jump the gun to do what you want to do. Yesterday, I listened to the minority leader who said, look, this report has come.
The minority leader?
Yeah, this report has come. You people are calling for some special committee, ad hoc committee to deal with it. We have already our structures in Parliament. And then the speaker reasoned with him. And then they had to do their work.
So let's go by it.
Let's go by it. So if actually the law says do X, Y, Z, you do that. The law also says do this, you do it. But I'm saying that whoever is on the PAC must know that this money is meant for our public purpose. And must know that my work is to investigate properly, to find out how that money has been used. And then must know that whoever is culpable, the person must be surcharged according to law.
Interesting.
And then we'll all be saved.
I want us to move on the conversation, but I've been joined by Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan. And because you have...
I just wanted to make a quick point.
Okay.
You see, so he's raised a good point about whether we should be looking at the governance system that we are practicing. Because he cited Saudi Arabia and people who have had longevity in terms of stability in their political system. Yes, stability is important. But it is also the character of the people in charge and what they seek to do. For instance, Ghana we started on this democratic journey in 1992, isn't it?
The Fourth Republic.
The Fourth Republic.
Yeah.
So we've had 34 years. Rwanda, after a bitter civil war ended in 1994, have also had stability since. What have they done with their stability as compared to ours?
But we're still better than them.
You see, no,
we are still better than them.
They've basically...
But you see, the metrics that they'll use from where they have come and where they are in terms of achievement is better than Ghana. I mean, look at the order in the cities. In Kigali. Okay. So you see, we should stop this idea of patting ourselves and saying we are doing well because we go and look at Togo, we go and look at Benin, we go and look at Nigeria. And then we say we are doing very well. I mean, for me, it's sad. Anyway. I mean, look at the resources we have and what we have done to ourselves over the years. So I think that the key thing is how we are able to hold people accountable, responsible for their actions and inactions.
Amazing. Abdul Fattah, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, my brother.
A lot has been said.
Senior panelists.
It's Honorable Abdul Fattah.
Oh yes, member of parliament for
it's
years.
Abdul Fattah.
Let-
It's
let-
Abdul Fattah.
I hope I'm not in contempt of the
Don't
office.
mind, I like you, come on.
Yes, so Honorable Abdul Fattah, member of parliament for Yendi. A lot has been said. You know, I listened to the minority make arguments yesterday in the aftermath of the special report delivered by the Deputy Finance Minister. They say you are scaremongering. In fact, some say it's propaganda. Nana Asafo Bafu, Wamisha South Member of Parliament. And they say also that it's a diversionary tactic, right? Because there's oral. You came into government promising to recoup about $21 billion, right? But we've not really heard anything. So what are your initial thoughts, very briefly, before we wrap up the conversation on the special report?
Thanks. Apologies for arriving late. I was stuck in some serious traffic. Well, if they call it scaremongering, well, you know, minority has every right to christen it the way they like it. I call this the mother aura. You see, if you look at aura was brought up not by professional auditors. Look at the report here. We are talking about a report that is the output.
Domelevo is not a professional auditor.
Who?
Domelevo, member of ORA.
He was just one single person. We are talking about
Domelevo
institutions.
was not.
We are talking about institutions.
No, but they solicited
I'm talking about
reports.
institutions.
They solicited
Let me tell you one
public,
thing.
so-
If you compare Aura to this report, no one will tell you that this report carries more weight than Aura, because this report has PwC. You see, Domelevo is an individual. We are talking about Auditor General. It's not one individual. It's not an individual. It's an institution.
Go on and make
When
it
we are
clear.
talking about PwC, it's not an individual. It's the institution PwC. When we are talking about Ernst & Young, we are talking about an institution. These three institutions came together to produce this document. That cannot be compared to Aura. You understand? Now, and this, if you look at this, the work that these people did, look at Aura, they did their work within a very short period. These people took over a year to come up with this report. And you see, if you look at this report, to me, the safest way to start is not for minority to start defending things in this report. Look, the public sector is sick. And me, when I say this, I'm not putting the blame at the doorstep of politicians. If you look at some of the things happening in that report,
You are late. We said all this earlier.
Yeah.
yes, if you look at the things happening in that report, it will tell you that the bureaucrats in our public sector institutions are rather more to be blamed than the politicians. Most of the time, we put the blame at the doorsteps of the politicians, and that is where we are getting it wrong.
That's true.
If you look at some of the validations we see, the certifications we see, the documents that we see, no minister does those things.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
understand?
You said
It's
it
done by
earlier, yeah.
technocrats at those ministries. And so if we are going into this, in fact, this has the tendency of changing our whole public finance management architecture. And I get sick when at all times we come up with new means of resolving our issues. Oh, when PFMA was coming, everybody was hailing it as they want to bring
Transformational.
sanity to the management of public finances. Today, look at what even the same system that we have brought up, thinking we're going to have an end to this. Look at what we are getting. And so, please, let's not start this conversation with MPP NDC. It may have happened within the time of MPP. But you see, if we are patriotic as we say we are, we should be looking at curbing or nibbling the problem in the back. You understand? If we are able to get to this, if you look at some of the infractions that we've seen, how can you even issue documents that you have received this number of cars at your ministry or at your department, when in fact you have not? Look at even the judicial service. You have confirmed that you have received 7 salon cars. And there are documents to that effect. Just after the audit has commenced, then the contractor rises back to judicial service to say that
So Graphic captures it, right?
incapable of supplying the cars. The same cars that you have confirmed. that you have received.
Graphic reported it to say, similarly, the judicial service had an SRA for 7 Toyota Saloon cars
Yes.
dated October
Store receipt
2024.
advices.
But the supplier wrote that the service admitting could not supply the vehicles.
And what is
And it goes
SRA?
on.
Let's educate
Wow.
people about SRA is only issued after you receive the item. That is store receipts. It means that I'm confirming that I have received this. And the receipts, the store receipts advices are there. And now, when they heard that this investigation started, Then they came back, the same suppliers now came back to write to the judicial service to tell them that we can't honor our obligation under the contract. So what were they receiving? What were they receiving? You see, so I don't want it to be thrown into, and otherwise we will not get anywhere. It is a bigger issue we have at hand than aura. In fact, from today onwards, we should even put our effort more on this report than on aura. And I have seen that attempt in Parliament to start that conversation along those lines, and that will not help the.
What is your government's commitment to improve, number one, the public financial management system as we have it now? You went here, Koshi made a point that, we are always quick to add new laws when that is not a solution.
Exactly.
So the question, what are you doing to improve it?
I think the first thing we have done, and that is what will be, in fact, and I am happy that when the Kojo Ponkoba, I heard him one time speaking to some of the things NDC has done, and he has credited this government for one thing. He said this commitment certificate, it is one big thing that can bring sanity to our public financial management system. We don't need new laws. You understand? We just need to be firm and be candid to ourselves and make the systems work. What we did was the debt for the minister. And before you realize, the minister has one figure as a debt. And the nation's debt is actually the first thing we did was to bring an amendment to the PFMA Act to say that now, for every contract beyond 1 million Ghana cedis, what we expect you to do is it has to have a commitment certificate from the finance minister. So now, regardless of where you are issuing the contract from, whether it is from where or what, it is a government institution.
The finance
minister has to see it. That is what will let the finance minister make sure that you spend within your budget.
So that's the Commencement Act.
That is the Commencement Certificate. Yes, and it is giving us overview. So today, the finance minister can get up and tell you that this is the total debt of Ghana since we came to power. You understand? Without making a mistake. Because no other agency can commit the state to any contract without the notice of the finance minister.
Your government is promising the big push. What are the measures, right, to ensure that we don't come back to this?
When you say look at some example of those things in this. If I think I've heard when I was coming, my senior brother talking about Agenda 111 issue. You saw it this. About 35 contractors paid some mobilization. And none of them has gone to site. No evidence of them even visiting sites. Yet they are quiet. Several years down the line, in fact, some of them have even dissipated the monies that they took. You understand? So for Big Push, in fact, if you look at the criteria for the selection of Big Push, it's not easy. And that is why I commend JM for the way we have started. And I pray that we don't drift off. Look, Big Push, before you are awarded a Big Push project, look, those considerations of whether you're a party person, whether you are this, no. Hey. You must show capacity. It is about capacity. No, and that has been our problem. It's always the consideration have always been.
We've had a good laugh this morning, right?
No, that has been that is the history. Come on, let me that's not the history. That's where we are coming from.
Right, your party card is initially looked at before contracts are awarded.
That's what these people have.
Let me just give
your party people are fighting you that you are not even taking care of them.
No, but you see.
Let me share some figures with you.
Because you have the final
In 2023, the Ministry of Roads and Highways reclassified road contractors. And when they did their selection and qualification, they had a total of 233 contractors on their list.
Yeah.
So they were reassessing. And then by 2024, November 2024, the number of qualified contractors have ballooned from 223 to 1,414.
Where are they all from?
So my question is, where did this contract suddenly come from? Is it because somebody had told them, look, there are some jobs on the way, so all of you come and register?
In his backyard, by now they are new contractors
post-election.
Post-election, that number has jumped between November 2024 to December 2025. That number has jumped to 3,464.
Oh my God.
So is it that people have been told that Big Push is coming, so go and register your companies? And then somehow we are not even
says no party contractors.
We are not even checking the capacity of this contractors.
No,
and you see, worse is that when you are classified as A1, B1, it means that you are unlimited in the jobs that you can do. That number has changed from November 24 from 64 to 290.
My question: who's even vetting their
That
capabilities?
It's
and
within the
competence?
Ministry of Roads and
ministry
Highways.
does it.
That is what the vetting is supposed to be done. So if you go to the Ministry of Highways website, these figures are there.
Interesting.
So,
Across
and
the
I
table,
was saying, but you see, the big push in particular is a special project. So the president makes sure that, or even the finance minister and the roads minister, they make sure that whoever is awarded the big push has the capacity to do it. That is the first and foremost thing. You see, when we, especially such a huge project, when you begin to look at it only from party angle, chances are you have these projects being awarded, money is taken, and the work will not get done.
Thank you. So across the table, my panelists have been firm in their resolve and their belief that as much as we hold politicians accountable, we ought to also look at the civil service. We ought to look at the technocrats, and it's important that we also take it from there. We'll go on a quick break. When we are back, we'll delve into our second conversation for the day. Don't go away.
Verna is clean, fresh and safe. I'm holding my Verna bottle. No plastic seal, no worries. Open and hear the sound like click. That sound means it's fresh, no trick. No plastic seal, but it's still pure. Cool and clean, you can be sure. Verna leads the brighter way. What takes my doubt away? If it clicks, it's Verna. If it clicks, it's clean. Sip it, feel the difference. Verna water, pure and green. Click, open, sip. Click, open, sip. Chalet Verna. No stress, just sip. Chalet Verna, no stress, just sip.
This advert is FDA approved.
Watching DSTV means getting the TV you love, but staying connected means getting something extra.
Stunning.
Extra matches, extra dramas, the best local and the world's biggest. Extra laughter, music, movies, and extra vim.
I love it.
Just stay connected or reconnect and get upgraded to the next higher package at no extra cost. Charlie, we got you. Keep watching. Get more with DSTV.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we. We've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo can be me. And who be here? Some make us a papadia to a mammy man for. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients. And a bomb is so buying. A man is swing. Nesasu Mama Hoto so it will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily. My name is Jude Duncan, sitting in for a regular host, Nana Tufo Boateng. Just gone by, we had our conversation on issues around a special audit conducted by the Finance Ministry looking into some financial irregularities and infractions, by some alleged politicians and mainly technocrats and other civil servants. It's now time to delve into our second conversation for the day. The Speaker of Parliament on the floor yesterday announced during the swearing-in of the new Ayawaso East Member of Parliament, Baba Jamal Ahmed Mohammed, that the private bill seeking to criminalize issues around vote buying is taking shape, and we'll be delving into that particular story yesterday. But the new publisher have an interesting front page story. I brought it to you earlier. They recount Baba Jamal's first day in Parliament, and they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I've seen the supporters say that he was only meditating, so we shouldn't, try and do politics. It's been a long run, to Parliament. Anyway, so I'll start off with you, Koshi, on this particular issue before I come to the politicians. I know they have a lot to say. Is it a step in the right direction or another exercise in futility?
I mean, without mincing words, I'll say it's an exercise in futility. Yeah, I mean, let's be serious. Over the last 30 years that we've been practicing this in this Fourth Republic, what haven't we seen our contestants for primaries do? Baba Jamal's alleged case is only a tip of the iceberg. I mean, in the past few years, we've seen people giving motorcycles, all manner of very expensive items. Who has raised a finger about it? Suddenly, we say we are going to make a new law. But I'm saying that if we wanted to deal with this, within the political parties, they could have dealt with this. So it's not about making a new law. It is about the character of people leading our political parties who are saying that we are social democrats, we are property-owning democracy, we are this, we are for justice and all that. What have they done about the activities of their members? So if the political parties themselves have not had courage to deal with it, how do you think we are going to deal with that at the national level? Because again, like I said, we can recount a number of cases and violations of law that have gone on, and nobody has raised their finger. If you go to the Political Parties Act, which talks about audited accounts and issues like that, have we followed it? No. So we have enough laws on our books to deal with the situations that we have, but there's an unwillingness to deal with it. Baba Jamal's case, NDC went into set up a committee to look at the issue. The committee came out and said, yes, all the candidates misconducted themselves. How did the party arrive at the conclusion that all candidates had misconducted themselves? And what did the party choose to do? The party still said, oh, okay, let's go ahead. So for me, it is not about new laws.
But they gave reasons for that.
No, the reasons they give, I'm saying again, are not good enough. Because if you go into the parties themselves, their constitutions, they say that if anyone does anything to discredit the party, you can be punished.
So they should have called off the election.
Exactly. That is to demonstrate that you are interested in issues of probity and accountability. This is a party that talks about probity and accountability as the bedrock of their party.
But the presidency took firm action when they recalled him.
You recalled him, but the man is now MP. The man is MP now. The processes, and I'm saying the party itself could have dealt with this. So the excuse that the party gave for me is not tenable. Because inside the constitution, you find that they had violated their own constitution with some of these things. Or you can simply take a political decision and say, look, we found all of them administrative, and therefore none of them is qualified to contest in this election. Why? Because this is a case where the MPDC already has supermajority in parliament. It is not a case where you need that seat. And even if you said none of them is, you can still support an independent candidate to come and sit with you in parliament. But the way the party handled it, for me, does not tell us that the parties who are the owners of this process are interested in probity and accountability and therefore cleaning up the system. So for the Speaker of Parliament to say we are going to make new laws, for me, it's not going to hold. Look, we talked about, causing financial loss. I mean, with every law that we've made noise about it. But what has it brought us in terms of curbing corruption? OSP, Office of Special Prosecutor, what has it done so far? So we do all the fanfare about new laws, but when it comes to implementation, nothing happens.
I'm curious to know what your alternative would have been. So call off the election like you're saying, and then what happens? The party picks a candidate.
So the current government says that they have come to reset. So I would have expected as part of that reset agenda, they'll begin to demonstrate that they really mean that. So yes, call it off. Tell them none of them is qualified, and let other candidates come in.
But they said they had a very short
window. So you see, political parties are capable of doing it. I've also been a member of a political party. You can sit down and say, okay, we'll sponsor an independent candidate.
The CPP, the Conventions People Party.
I've simply become non-partisan because I think that none of the political parties is doing anything right at the moment.
So pick a candidate.
Yes, you can even sponsor an independent candidate and say, look, go and contest.
But would that have been democratic?
Why not? It's democratic. Once the people elect the person, that is it. You see, political parties are capable of changing things, making things happen, if they really mean to make things happen. But they are not.
Come on.
You see, to a large extent, I want to agree with Kwashi on the position that we have laws already certain in our books, and yet we do not enforce those laws. What the Speaker said, that there should be a new law, is a call in the right direction. But as to whether or not we have laws that allows us to also deal with some of these things, yes. He mentioned the OSP and his attempt to nip in the bud this vote buying, which is deemed as more or less a corrupt act. Okay? And again, I will cite this issue about vigilantism that we all spoke against. And we decided to go to Parliament to make a law. Okay? Has it stopped? No. We have the likes of Azoka still threatening people on by-election days. And saying they have their boys. Hey, if you see a finisher, they do that. When you come to MPP, you may have the likes of, if you like, Delta Force and whatever. Has it stopped? The same politicians, who are seeking to go to Parliament, who are seeking to become presidents, who are seeking to be whatever, we still use those boys to do that. We have a law there. The law is not even taken care of. We don't look at it. So the panacea or the solution is not the law. However, it is not to say that if there's a lacuna or if there's some space left that we haven't taken care of it, then there shouldn't be a law in that regard. There should be a law in that regard. But in actually coming out with a legislation, that legislation must be enforced. Don't just go and legislate. Make sure that we enforce it. But again, we will not blame parliamentarians there, because the enforcement is not their work. The enforcement is the executive. Though the executive will accent to the law and then is supposed to enforce it, they'll finish accepting and then keep it somewhere and we are not working with it. But this act of misconduct during primaries, I suggested on a certain platform that, look, the General Secretary of MPP, the General Secretary of NDC, the General Secretaries of all the political parties must sit on a round table discussion. Let's all sit, if we really mean good for Ghana, and agree that these are the modalities we want to put in place for our internal elections.
So it starts with the primaries.
It starts with the primaries. Anyone who does this is disqualified. Let us come with a communique, then finish and issue a communique by us all. You see, MPP doesn't want to do it, and we say, it's MPP alone who have gone to do this, is their cup of tea. NDC doesn't also want to do it, and say, it's NDC alone who have done this, and it's their cup of tea. But it is a canker, because we are getting to a level where competent people will not be elected to positions. It will only take people who is the highest bidder to come. Whether the person is a square peg in a round hole or not, you have elected the person.
And the point about how it also reinforces corruption.
Yes.
So now people win it and they have to recoup the money.
In fact, people want to become delegates not because they want to come and choose prudent people to come and represent
because
them,
because
they will get some fridges, some motorbikes, some Kosiani Moko. Okay? Joaba Jamal, after giving Kosiani Moko, had to go and sleep on the first day
He
Parliament.
didn't sleep in Parliament.
But he gave Koscielny Moko, right?
He admitted to the Koscielny Moko.
Yes.
But he didn't
And
sleep.
even admitted to TVs.
He didn't sleep.
I'm candid.
You are not fasting.
Was there no Koscielny Moko?
He didn't.
No, but this is not scandalous or libelous.
But he didn't sleep in Parliament. But make your point.
The picture you said, rest Ipsa Rikutu. The line is here. Look at it. The picture speaks for itself.
No.
The man is sleeping.
Please make your point. Yes.
Baba Jamal, after giving Koscielny Moko and televisions, which he admitted to, went to Parliament to sleep.
Wait, where did he admit that?
Oh, he was interviewed.
There was a
They
video
asked
where
him whether he was giving. He said yes. What is wrong with
admitted
giving
to
TV?
But let me come to
He
you,
admitted.
Abdul Fattah. You are in
You
Parliament,
understand?
right?
So I think to the end of it, I think on all serious note, we should all be seen to be fighters. The IEA, I'll call on them, Institute of Economic Affairs, to institute a roundtable discussion. They have been doing it, engaging with the political parties. Let us call them specifically on vote buying during primaries. It should be an issue. Then all political parties will come. It should be a project. I pray IEA listening to us this morning should do this. Then invite all political parties. Let us all agree on modalities. Then I think it will begin to sanitize the primary or the internal system.
Because I'll come to you
Otherwise
on the
it will be a problem.
feasibility of Kamaldeen's suggestions. But Abdul Fattah, here in Parliament, right, there are also concerns about how politicians, your actions and inactions sort of legitimize this, right? In the past NPP primaries that we witnessed at the end of January, all candidates, allegedly gave money. In fact, your May 2023 primaries that saw His Excellency John Dramani Mahama elected, we are being told he gave delegates 40 cedis across board. Put that together. Look at the sums involved. So why are you now coming to cry foul when you yourselves as politicians, MPs, you engage in such?
All right, thanks so much, Jude. There's always a point you get to and then come to a realization that you have to take a new leaf. There's no doubt that the monetization of our politics has become a big issue. And like Kamal rightly said, these days it is about who pays the fattest check.
Yeah.
Especially at primaries. That is why I buy into the recommendation of the Constitutional Review Commission that said that we need to expand. Political parties must expand as a matter of law, that we must legislate it so that political parties can expand their electoral college in terms of the election of their internal elections to include all card-bearing members, and that they should only be given the power or the opportunity to set timelines from maybe a year before the elections. All those who have party cards from 12 months ago to this, that period can be set by the political party. But it should not just be limited to the 5 members you have at polling stations in the case of MPP and the 9 members we have in the case of NDC. I think that's where the major issue is. If we have a very controlled number, a small number like that, then chances are you all be competing to undo each other. Now, and the thing is that, you see, if you go in and you say you want to play the saint,
you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
I'm in big trouble.
But he has contested 2 elections. He'll tell you let your colleagues do it. You say, okay, you are not going to do this. You see where it will land you.
But they say politicians the citizens are a reflection, or the other way around, right? So politicians are a reflection of the people that we have.
Yeah, but you see, yes, the call by the speaker that there will be the introduction of the private members, as to whether the law itself or law alone will curb this. For instance, as we speak, we have our laws that frown upon monetization of our elections. If you look at 29, you understand, section 240, 241, 242, they are all talking about influencing voters in one way or the other. And they are all being criminalized. But still, even though we have them as laws, we don't even care a hoot about it. I think the major thing we have to do is to get it internalized in the political parties' internal structures.
Like Kamal suggested.
That is the only way. Look,
that's the only way.
And that is why when I saw the statement from my party, when this issue came up from the IRS, I said, wow. Then possibly maybe we are now beginning to see this as a major issue. Because look, it can only take the party
to deal with it.
To deal with it.
Not easy.
Not law, not easy.
But the EC have a campaign financing framework that political parties
How
are
many
to adhere to.
look, do they even look? We even have a law that says that political parties might publish their accounts.
Exactly.
How many times have we seen that happening? You see, that's why some of us even call for the separation of the management of elections. You see, the electoral commission should just be focused on running elections, while the management of political parties should be given to another body. There are two different workloads, and each of them is loaded. You see, now our EC is only focused on running elections. Today, the only thing the EC is a master in is running of elections. How political parties run their affairs is also a duty on the EC, but they don't do it because they're overwhelmed by the mandate to run elections, and they see that is where we are all having our eyes on. You understand? So let's create another structure that manages political parties, that can see to it that the laws that we have requiring political parties to behave this way or that way, they follow through with that. Because the EC seems to have forgotten about that part of their responsibility. You understand? And so, like Kamal said, that issue of looking at it from the party internal structures is the best way to go about. Amazing. You understand? And we have even passed laws to ban this vigilantism and all those things. You understand? But still, you may not hear the names coming, but they are working. They are working within the parties. And even candidates will want to even have them because they further their interest. So, as to whether this law, when it comes, the law being called the private members bill that Speaker is talking about, some of us, we think that if we discipline ourselves internally as political parties,
I think we should begin.
We would be able to get somewhere. You see, but I don't also agree that we did nothing in this instance. In fact, our back was pushed to the wall. No, I'm coming. I'm coming. You see, we had a situation where, look at the
animals on this matter. But if you go for this matter,
I raised an issue.
I thought we were even done.
I'll be very magnanimous on this matter.
He raised an issue. He said he was disappointed the way it was handled.
Yeah.
Yes, some of
I
us
was very disappointed. I just didn't want to go there.
My issue was, we also wanted it to have gone further. We wanted investigation to be conducted. But you see, this was a situation where we had only 2 days.
You can select. There's selection. You see, I don't know of your party's constitution. Our party constitution says that we either elect through primaries or we select a candidate. But so the party can select a candidate. If you really wanted to serve Ghana.
Is selecting a candidate a democratic, procedure?
It depends on the definition you give to democratic principle.
No,
democratic
in
principle,
that the people having a choice.
All sit down and agree.
No,
let us select. It's a democratic.
But that is the party hierarchy.
That's what I don't know of their constitution. But our constitution is clear that our party headquarters can sit down and select the candidate.
I have a feeling.
Given our research, this person must stand for us.
I feel that
no problem. We can do that.
And
we can also do the primaries too as well.
I feel that all is
they could have done selection.
That move itself was a signal that there is now that new thinking within the NDC.
Did you also sign against Baba Jamal in Parliament? 189 of you signed that he should not even be allowed.
Come on. Did you see the list containing 189 names?
You're representing.
Did you see the list containing 189 names?
You're all part of it.
So it should tell you that we were showing abhorrence to vote by it.
And then he shouldn't be in Parliament. You said you
must that is one issue.
No. But only for the man to come and
members of Parliament.
Honorable Abdul Fattah.
There was only chairman of the various committees.
With your consent, didn't you?
See,
tell me you didn't consent to it. Because they said you consented. All of you consent.
Abdul Fattah, have you bought votes before?
No.
You've not bought votes before.
The way our internal election, if you don't take water, even if you buy pure water for somebody, it will be classified as vote buy. That is why even in the last MPP primaries, most of them were classifying it as transportation. They will have various names they give.
So it's all the same.
What is on the banner is a Koscielny Moko. It's not about MPP primaries. What is on the banner is Koscielny Moko.
I didn't see Koscielny Moko anyway. In that case, you see, it's like it's a canker wheel.
Please wrap it up for us.
If we want to be frank with ourselves, it's an issue that has taken a bigger stage in our internal politics, especially the internal one. It's more common in the internal, and today you are even going to see more of it. So it's about time. And I like if the step NDC took, even though it didn't take us anywhere, but that signal, if we can strengthen that move, that stance, I think it will go a long way to help us.
In the
because you see, anytime a party is in power, chances are you have that thing becoming more common.
Entrenched.
You understand in that party. So we have a good opportunity, and we because I said we are probably to reset Ghana, and I am looking forward to my leadership taking both.
So I also it was a missed opportunity.
No, I'll call it miss. It was a difficult situation we found ourselves in.
When you are very honest, it's not easy to answer certain questions.
Today I've had a very moderate panel. So today I've had a moderate panel, but I realized that on some of the issues. But it's fine because Kamal says we should get IEA to.
I think it's a good idea if the parties will commit to it.
Party level.
Because you see, and that is why, although if IEA initiated it, it's fine. But I think that the parties themselves should initiate it.
Of course, we should write to each other. We can do that.
Exactly.
Once IEA initiates it, at some point one party can say, look, me, I'm not interested in this IEA business and walk away. So the parties themselves must show commitment to that process and say, oh, look, IEA, help us with it. I would think that would be a better approach, so that the parties themselves are coming with commitment that we want to do this. IEA, help us with it. I think that would be a good step. On the constitutional reviews, suggestions to enlarge the party base for electing people. Yes, it is a good idea, but I don't think that will be a solution to the problem. One, because once people still have deep pockets, they will be able to circumvent the system.
With the numbers?
With the numbers,
look, you see, you try it. You see, the larger the number, the deeper the pockets should be. That is what is going on.
You get the money
So I think that the issue we should also be looking at is how do we control the process, why people need to monetize the system. So if we say that, look, internally, for you to have primaries, the rules are going to be that every candidate will have an opportunity. The party will create a platform where you meet candidates and you send your campaign message, you do this, you do this. And then you cannot do anything else outside of this. Those are the things, because that is how the people spend their money.
We are in a technological world.
Oh, no. That is fine.
I can reach you
But
through various means.
I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you. Sending Momo, do all manner. Yes, I agree with you. But the point is that the party has made the internal rule. Now, if you find that evidence against you,
which can be
easily
verified.
That is if it can be
easily verified, right? If you send Momo,
because I send money to you, you don't even. I just send it from my account.
Easily. Your colleague, your opponent can petition against you.
So it is easy. You see, so it is easy to find that evidence. That is why I still maintain that the district assembly, the assembly members remain non-partisan, because so long as it exists, although political parties are supporting people, once you can find the evidence, you can change the person.
Interesting.
So for me, I think we should look at the structures.
Final hours. Come on, I'll start with you. 30 seconds.
A quick one. I will reiterate my point that it is we, the political parties, who can fight this and nip this in the bud. Why? Hitherto, we didn't have this trend. It wasn't there at all until NDC started with lanterns, machetes,
come on,
Maggie Cube, and all that. And
you want us to go? This 30 minutes.
It advanced to now rice and sugar. In the name of Ramadan season, Salah season. Now, in the name of Christmas, it came to Akoko. Now we are even getting Akosuena Moko. See, and it's moving to money. Look, where people pay 10,000 cedis, alleged, to a delegate. That is so serious. Just because I want to go to parliament. And you get to parliament and get nothing. That's the sad aspect of it. My brother is a member of parliament.
It's a pity.
Sometimes even today they are crying. They have not even paid them up to date.
It's a pity.
Most of them are struggling. Parliament have not had their payment yet. Meanwhile, the constituents are sitting there thinking that he has a lot. So why do I even spend much money to go and get nothing? So we, the political parties, with all respect, I would appeal to my general secretary. I would appeal to Fifi Kote of NDC. They are the big parties, and then other general secretary. Look, let us have a meeting. Nanado tried something when he was president. What Nanado did was to call all regional chairmen of parties and general secretary to sit to discuss Ghana. We can also initiate it, sit and discuss internal primaries. What can we do to nip this thing in the bud?
Thank you so much, Kamaldeen. Yes,
Kamaldeen is throwing something at the last minute which will not even engage our mind. You know, in fact, many Ghanaians would attest to the fact that it was with the onset of MPP and when Kufuor came that we saw the monetization of our elections. Look, Rawlings, who dare you? Yes, and the Rollins. In fact,
Were you in Ghana?
Yes, I was. Rollins time, this
This
was
one,
very
this is
rare.
Ghana, I'm sure.
Very, very rare. And so if you sit here to
Rollins
say
was
it
even
was
fishes.
under NDC, that this, no,
It's not true.
Rollins did, you couldn't, even as an appointee of Rollins,
You couldn't have done that.
You couldn't dare do such a thing. And so let's not, in fact, that is where we are even moving away from. And so I would not even want to concentrate on that. But all in all, I support the call for the parties themselves to initiate such discussions and stand firm to be able to root this thing out, because that is the only way that we can bring sanity to our
Michael Koshi Dede.
No, I will end by saying no amount of laws can stop bad people from doing what they want to do. And no amount of laws can prohibit or stop a good person from wanting to do what needs to be done. So we should be looking at people's characters as a way of dealing with this issue of corruption. We should punish people and hold people accountable. Without that, making new laws would not really help us.
Amazing. Thank you so much, gentlemen. So again, across the table, my panelists shared the opinion that the rate at which we see some of these votes buying is endemic to our development and to our political, discourse as a people. So we need to get that check, and that will be how we end today's discussion. Grateful for your time, Alhaji Kamaldeen Abdullahi, Deputy Communications Director at the New Patriotic Party, Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan, Member of Parliament for Yendi, and of course Michael Koshi Dede. He's an engineer.
Your designer for your outfit.
Thank you very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I want to actually know your designer.
Thank you so much. That's all time allows for. Thank you for watching. Catch you same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
To revolutionize the future of agriculture, the Ministry of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, in partnership with the Ghana Exim Bank, proudly presents the Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026. The fair will feature exhibitions, market linkages, masterclasses, and workshops on climate-smart farming, digital tools, and export development. Join us at the Black Star Square from March 17 to March 19 at 9 a.m. each day. The President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, will be assisted by the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, the Honorable Elizabeth Ofusue-Jari, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Honorable Sylvester Adina Mensah, to open the fair. Government agencies, agrotech firms, startups, farmers, financial institutions, and the general public are all welcome. To exhibit or for inquiries, call 0559 679326 or 0242 585419. Ghana Agrotech Fair 2026, transforming agribusiness through local innovation and technology.
Here, pata moba minole. I'm your battery milolo. I should not cook any bashe. What's saying just one more papa.
O smallelo.
Me to enjoy it.
To enjoy. Yenaka Shiane.
Shiane, mo phone yo me.
re-energy and reconnect with your roots this March at the Back to Your Village Food Festival 2026. Join us for a celebration of Ghanaian culture and cuisine from all across the country. Northern, Akan, and Southern villages will all be represented. It's more than just food. It's about culture, family, and memories that last a lifetime. Let's come together this March to discover the flavors that make us who we are. The date is 28th and 29th of March 2026. Venue is the A4 Sutherland Children's Park. The time is 10 a.m. through till 6 p.m. each day. Interested vendors can register by calling 0205-973-973. The Back to Your Village Food Festival is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM.
Habibi, my people, welcome to Dubai. My name is Sheikh Alkal bin Maktoum. Okay, so I am Caleb, right? Caleb Kuda is my name, and this is Beyond Borders on Channel 1 Television. We are in Dubai. So join me. Let us explore the allure, the beauty, and the reality of life and living it in Dubai through the eyes and the experiences of our compatriots.
Imagine 6 people, 10 people sharing a common room together.
If you're not a na complain there in the sense, why do I share one rooms now? It doesn't smell pleasant. Or hunting no complaints now be bring to the fair no too.
Dubai is one of the most organized, highly resourced, and well-endowed countries you would find.
You've been here for 7 months.
Yes.
Without a job.
Yeah.
How is it like?
So hard.
Tell me about it.
Struggling, renting and feeding is so hard.
Every frame per second of their lives in Dubai tells a story. And we've got it all captured right here on Beyond Borders, only on Channel 1 Television. So don't get told, don't miss out. Catch these compelling stories of Ghanaians in Dubai only on Beyond Borders on Channel 1 TV.
Beyond Borders airs every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV and is brought to you by Copen Hospitality. As part of Heritage Month 2026, we bring you the On-Air series, Our Culture, Our Story, Our Identity. In week 1, the sound of our identity.
A great one from the legend himself, Charles Kojofosu.
In week 2, Our Past, Our Power.
So the African Personalities idea, first and foremost, started somewhere in the 1890s by a movement called Gonfanti Movement.
In week 3, Faces of the Nation. In week 4, What We Eat, Who We Are.
A typical Fanti palm nut soup is a United Nations soup. Yes, a United Nation soup. So you have fish in there. I will not make palm nut soup unless I have periwinkle.
The Heritage On Air Series 2026, Our Culture, Our Story, Our Identity will air every Monday to Thursday on 97.3 CDFM at 9 a.m. and on Channel 1 TV at 10 a.m. The Heritage On Air Series 2026 is proudly sponsored by GCB Bank, GTP, and Bethel Dental.
Hello everyone, it's still Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 TV, and as you all know, Jude Duncan started the show with some politics, and now we are going to be taking you to 11 a.m. with something different, like getting into our communities, talking about trends, interviews, and so on. My name is Chris Carter.
My name is Philip Nilati, and today we have interesting things for you. The trends,
yes,
some interesting story coming up. You want to stay with us here, and also the community. We move into a community close to you, but we still thanking our sponsors for the Heritage Caravan. The Caravanites enjoy themselves for the 8-day lifetime trip within 14 regions, and we still want to thank you for being part of this all-important project. So thank you so much, Ghana Tourism Authority, Nana Rise, Gwel, Caveman, Didishito, Gino, Admin, Hollard Insurance, Omni Basic, Piva, and Minimi Achomo. I want to say a very big thank you to you, and we know you are here to stay. And as we are thanking them, I'm sure that you're also preparing yourself for the next edition, whether it will be the 11th edition, and that's 2027. So you should be saving so that you'll be ready for that lifetime trip. Maybe you may not have even traveled to the Ashanti region before, but because of this particular trip, you'd be able to see a lot of places within the country. Thank you so much to the sponsors, and we are most grateful. So still on the Heritage Month and Heritage series, we will bring you on a series today, and today is going to be Bernard Avle still sitting with Kweku Darko Ankara, and this is going to be the kingdoms and non-centralized states. Part 2. So there's going to be a part 2 that will be airing exactly at 10 a.m. You wouldn't want to miss it because this is an opportunity for you to learn a lot about our roots. So with this particular on-air series, we want to thank GCB Bank, GTP, Bethel Dental, South African Airways. We want to say a very big thank you to you for holding us on and trying to also support us to bring the on-air series to our viewers and also to our listeners on City 97.3 FM.
All right, so we're going to be going to the Efua Sutherland Children's Park on the 28th and the 29th of March 2026, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. And it's all about the Back to Your Village Food Festival. You definitely do not want to miss this one because it's going to be about delicacies from our villages. And there are some certain foods you might have tasted as a kid, and because of urbanization, you have not seen those foods in a long time, and you can only get it to your village. But good news is that we are bringing the village to Accra, and it's going to be at the Efua Sutherland Children's Park. We're going to be looking at foods from different regions and different villages in the country. So do well to make a date with us on the 28th and the 29th of March for the Back to Your Village Food Festival. Now, to those who know how to cook indigenous meals or they sell indigenous meals and want to be part of this, all you need to do is call the number 0205-973-973 to be part of this. 0205-973-973. This is a great place for networking. This is a great place for some entertainment because there are going to be different cultural displays that you definitely do not want to miss, just like your village. So that's why it's called the Back to Your Village Food Festival. This is brought to you by Channel 1 TV and powered by City 97.3 FM.
So Kweku David has been saying something that fill your pocket, come to the Back to Your Village Food Festival, fill your stomach, and as well fill the bowls you come with so you can have some more when you get home. So make it a point to be part of this event. It's going to be an event that you wouldn't want to miss. It's 28 and 29, so come there and enjoy. But as we are still talking about issues with things within Ghana that we are promoting, we want to say that you should support the campaign that we are pushing here. That is the Made in Ghana Rice campaign. We have seen a number of people purchasing the Made in Ghana rice, and it's helping the farmers. Though the farmers are also still complaining that you are not buying, it's not enough. You would have to buy so that we can get jobs, we can also get money, the food glut can end and all that. So let's support each other. Let's go out there and buy Made in Ghana rice, which is very important. So as you see on the screens, Eat Ghana, Build Ghana, build fresh, eat Ghana, build the future from fresh from our farms to your plate, and you will enjoy this. Let your meal make a difference. Choose Ghana first. And of course, we are not doing this alone. It's in partnership with Agri Impacts Limited, MasterCard Foundation, 24-Hour Economy, and of course, it's being championed by City 97.3 FM and Channel 1 TV. So let's support the campaign. Let's all get on board and let's make Ghana proud by grabbing a bag of made in Ghana rice for your motuo, for your wache, for your rice pudding, that is rice water, for your jollof rice, for your plain rice, and whatever you would want to use the rice for. Make sure that you grab made in Ghana rice, and that is a campaign we are pushing here. Don't forget that the Easter Orphan Project, but Chris, you talk about it because it's going to be an interesting day that we'll bring you this.
Yes, so the Easter Orphan Project is happening on Easter Monday, 6th of April, 2026, and you can be part of this. And this is this is actually a very important initiative for us because it's to help us feed, maintain, and support some selected orphanages in the country. So we've come to you this year again, asking that you join us as we do this together. And how do you do this? You can actually, send your little contributions via Momo. The number is 0550 9000006. 0550 9000006. You can visit citynewsroom.com or call the number 0302-226-013 or 0550-900-006 to find out more. This is brought to you by Channel 1 TV and City 97.3 FM.
So as we are talking about all this, we still want to entreat you to download the Channel 1 News app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, so you can get the information that we are putting across, and also just information in your palm. And just with a notification, you know what is happening around you in the country, whether there is a traffic around Tetekwashi roundabout, or is a traffic around Circle, or is a traffic somewhere else, or the weather situation, or whatever is being said from the government side, the economy, whatever it is, you'll be able to get notification on your phone. Just download the Channel 1 News app today, and voila, we are good to go. Once we put out the information here, it just comes on your phone, just a notification, and you would be able to move around or go about your day-to-day activities very easy, because you have the needed information for you to really go about what you are doing within the day and beyond.
All right. So Tekura Designs are the people that actually helped us make our set look so beautifully. So if you look at our set right now, the set pieces that you see here made of wood, and this beautiful drum that you see here. So
this one is also part of it?
Oh yes, it's all part of it. It's all beautifully crafted here in Ghana. And they are called Tekura Designs. If you want to check them out, or if you're interested in any of the set pieces, please go on social media. Tekura
Have you seen
Designs.
this one yet?
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
This one was used for Black Panther.
Yes.
Yes. And this one.
And look out for it. Yeah. And also they have their showroom at Adenta. Yeah. So if you want to go visit them, you can head to Adenta or just put it on Google Map and it will direct you straight to them. All right.
So you can go and get it.
Yeah, so thank you so much for taking
Anyway, so straight into our trends for today. Trends, of course, you are bringing you what is happening on X, what is happening on Facebook, what is happening on Instagram, Snapchat, and all that. It was interesting yesterday, the Member of Parliament for East Ayawaso, as he will say, that is Baba Jamal, Ayawaso East, was sworn in Parliament. This was an interesting conversation there. The comments from the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, also the comments from the minority side, led by Aprenyo Markin, the comment from the Roads Minister, Governors Kwame Agboja, Mama Pat was in the mix there. Also, Habib Idris was also in the mix there. It was also interesting in Parliament yesterday. Yesterday, right after the swearing in, Honorable Baba Jamal, I think he was tired. I think he was tired.
Oh, he was probably meditating.
So it was actually like few moments later. That's what.
A few moments later.
Yeah,
pictures of Baba Jamal came out of he taking a nap. Let me put it that way. He's tired. He's human. So I don't think.
I mean, and obviously, we can let this slide for a minute because obviously he's been fasting. He's a Muslim.
Yeah. He's been really fasting.
You know,
so,
the Muslims have been fasting.
You wouldn't really want to hold him tight like that when it comes to he's tired and it's allowed. I'm sure that the cameras were on him because he was newly sworn in.
He's the man of the day.
He was newly sworn in. But you know, social media is buzzing. A lot of people are saying things on social media concerning Uncle Baba Jamal's sleeping in Parliament yesterday. This one said, funny thing is that he will wake up and vote yes to any policy discussed while sleeping. And go, you don't want him to vote yes? He's with the majority, you know? He's with the majority. So whether he had it or not, he would still have to also place his vote there. So this was a Chairman Tayao. It's true, he's tired. Chairman Tayao, Charlie. Make you people leave him. It's true, he's really tired. And Baba Jamal didn't try. Why? Why are you saying like he didn't try? He's tired. He's human. Like Chris said, he's fasting. And I know with Muslim brothers, they wake up around somewhere 1, 2, 3 to do other things because of this period. Upon all the things said in Parliament today, this is what made the news. Well, this is also on the lighter side. It's not anything serious that we are trying to share here. After buying the Kosiani Meko for his constituents, he is in Parliament sleeping. Do you know what makes this funny? Today is his first day in Parliament. Anyway, but he's been in Parliament before. This is not his first time as a parliamentarian. No. He's been in Parliament before. So he knows what goes on in Parliament. So it's just that he's just tired, I'm sure. I'm not holding brief for him, but I think that he's just tired and maybe that may have led to Uncle Baba. As you can see on the screen, Uncle Baba sleeping. But anyway, shout outs to his constituents in Ayawasu East. And I want to say that I wish him all the best as he's taking on the baton to be the Member of Parliament for the area following the demise of Ture, who was the Member of Parliament of Ayawasu East. Chris.
All right, so next we have some, trends on sports, and this is for the basketball fraternity. So yesterday something exciting happened, something that a lot of people did not expect. Well, it's Bam Adebayo that plays for Miami Heat actually surpassed Kobe Bryant's 81-game scoring record. So Bam Adebayo drops historic 83 points, surpassing Kobe Bryant for NBA's second highest scoring game. So Miami Heat star Bam Adebayo delivered one of the most extraordinary performances in basketball history yesterday, scoring 83 points in a dominant 150-129 victory over Washington Wizards. This explosive performance instantly placed him second on the NBA's all-time single scoring list, behind only Wilt Chamberlain's legendary 100-point scoring in 1962. So Adebayo's scoring spree also surpassed the famous 81-point performance of Kobe Bryant in 2006, making it the second highest scoring game NBA ever recorded.
Impressive.
Yes.
Is he related to the footballer Adebayo?
Adebayo is a Yoruba name. He's not related to the footballer, but it's just a general Yoruba name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I know there's a footballer Adebayo, right?
Yeah, Adebayo.
Yeah. So I'm asking if he's related to him, looking at the fact that he has the height.
That's why he's in basketball.
But Adebayo also has the height. Anyway, so interesting one there. I'm sure that we also have comments on this.
Yeah. So let's check out the comments. Bro's value just went up through the roof, and that's true. Even the legend was impressed. Bam, bam, bam.
Oh, LeBron James.
Yeah, LeBron James actually put bam, bam, bam. Yeah. So that means he's even scored more than LeBron.
Oh.
Yo, so Bam just entered the conversation with all-time greats of scoring. I know it has to feel surreal. Of course it does. It does, actually. Kobe will be proud of you. Well, yeah, Kobe definitely will be proud because Kobe's own was in 2006. Yeah, that he got the highest scoring ever. And what a game by Bam.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. You know why I'm excited about this?
Why?
Because obviously, like an African, Yeah, that's what I'm excited about it. That an African had to do it. That's not an American this time. So an African actually stamped his name on that, Hall of Fame.
Beautiful.
I like him.
But you said his name is Yoruba name in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
And Sokoto is also in Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
Sokoto.
Yeah.
So yesterday there was a statement that was made by the Foreign Affairs Minister.
Yeah, you're taking us to that.
Yeah, trying to take form. Yeah, that's fine. So Ghana was invited by US and Nigeria to join anti-ISIS operations in Sokoto. Yesterday, Ablakwa made mention of it at Chatham House in London. And he says that Ghana was formally invited by both the United States and Nigeria to participate in the 2025 Christmas Day military operation targeting ISIS militants in Sokoto State. The Foreign Affairs Minister, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, disclosed. And he says that Ablakwa further revealed both Nigeria and US reached out to Ghana to collaborate in the anti-terrorism effort, reflecting the country's policy of supporting regional security while respecting national sovereignty. But there is a video. Let's bring you that video so that we will hear from the horse's own mouth what exactly he said at Chatham House yesterday in London.
Well, everybody knows that Ghana has a defense cooperation agreement with the U.S. Approved by our parliament, and not only with the U.S., but with many other strategic partners, including the UK, a number of Gulf states. We do these things in our strategic national interest, and we are also careful to draw the lines. And so there's a red line. We do not accept military bases in our country. And I'm sure that what is happening in the Middle East now vindicates Ghana's position. We have historically prevented Western powers from establishing military bases in our country. And I believe that those who initially were not sure why Ghana was very stern about this position now appreciate that. Having said that, we also take the view that any cooperation, any intervention must be on a case-by-case basis, and there has to be express approval. So the recent attacks in Nigeria, the Nigerians will confirm to you that they invited the Americans, and they also reached out to Ghana to collaborate.
The Nigerians?
Yes, both the Nigerians and the Americans. So that's how we are playing this out. Sovereignty has to be respected. Territorial integrity has to be respected. You must be invited. And we must all agree on the scope of the intervention, because we do not want this to lead to another Venezuelan situation or some other, geopolitical matter, because sovereignty is important, territorial integrity is important. We must know exactly what the scope is, what you are coming to do, the nature of the intervention. It's very, very important. I mean, our citizens would not forgive us, and legitimately so, if we just, take away their sovereignty and allow external elements to just come in and do whatever they want.
All right,
that was the Foreign Affairs Minister there, yeah.
So why is this actually on the trends or in the trends that everybody's, buzzing about? The Chatham House is actually a Royal Institute for International Affairs, where they actually invite a lot of politicians or people in office in Africa to, come and discuss some of their affairs there and how they are working towards certain, topics in the government. But now this is in the trends because a lot of Ghanaians are now feeling like, oh, you shouldn't have discussed some of this, because this is about terrorism. This is supposed to be confidential and all that. But hey, it's out there now and people are just buzzing. Let's see what some of the topics look like. I mean, some of the comments look like. Some of these conversations are better had behind closed doors. No country is immune to terrorist attacks, and these guys are monitoring and listening to conversations about them. This is by Kofi Apia. And Savior Ketsi says, you guys are saying classified information. Something Trump organized press conference to announce to everyone.
Okay.
And at Enyuma PhD, did the Nigerian government approve of this going public? That's another question for the gods. At _courage, I'm sure France has also approached him about Burkina Faso. We should be careful because it's such deals that makes them invade countries. Well, so much information given in one interview, and this is by Kofi San GH. And yeah, so these are some of the comments out there, and I think people, people are right to feel how they feel because these are issues of terrorism, and no country wants to feel the brunt of any terrorist attacks, especially not Ghana.
That's true. But anyway, it's been said, but we see how it is going to turn out in the coming days, looking at the comments that people are actually putting across on social media and all that. But that was the foreign affairs minister there at Chatham House in London, and he spoke extensively about Ghana's invitation by the US and also Nigeria in the anti-ISIS operations. Let's bring you the video of the day.
What will Philip do in that situation?
Well, because you are behind the steering wheel, it's very dangerous stopping the vehicle. So I'll just not argue with you.
Right.
Yeah. So when the vehicle eventually parks, then I can argue with you and take the car key or something. But
what if you're in his situation?
I say when the vehicle is in motion, I'll just do the same thing he's doing.
And be begging,
but you see,
please step on the brake.
But you see, the brake, that's the thing.
Baby, please step on the brake.
The brake. So,
maybe the brake. The brake.
So in order not to get into that situation, do not argue.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the video of the day. Just interesting one there. We will now move straight into our communities. Yesterday, I wasn't on set. It was Jude that was here. I went to the Tetekwashi interchange. I like what the contractors have done by listening to the general public and putting in what is necessary by removing the diversion. Because on Monday, I tried going to Spintex area, and you had to use Google Map. You just can't go like that. And Google Map didn't give me anywhere from Achimota or to Jowulu
because there's no other way actually.
So I had to use another route to get to the Spintex area. But fast forward, the contractors moved into the situation and were like, no, we can't continue getting people stuck in traffic. You know, this was actually going to last for 4 months.
Yes, I heard.
Yeah, it was going to last for 4 months. And the explanation with this particular one is for the beam that will be launched onto on the road so that we can expand the road. But I want to say a very good morning and thanks to the contractors for listening, and thanks to the government for listening to Ghanaians. We understand that there's going to be they're going back to the drawing table to have a conversation and see how best this is going to work, which they are actually working around. We understand from what I gathered from the chief resident engineer Kwabena Bimpon is that on Sunday there may be a pilot of also trying to divert the road again. So if you are moving around on Sunday this weekend, you would want to be watching out for that. But we want to say a very big thank you to the contractors for at least listening to Ghanaians and not trying to inconvenience the motoring public and putting all the necessary things in place. You don't often use that site?
Oh, I do.
Also on Monday, where did you use?
I just went straight inside it.
Oh.
Directly inside it.
And you stayed in traffic for how long?
I stayed in traffic for, say, 2.5 hours because I left early.
Wow.
Yeah, 2.5 hours.
So what if you had left around 5?
Oh, then I would have cried because I heard people that left around 5 got
5
home like 10
around
o'clock.
10. So you stay in traffic for extra 5 hours?
Yeah.
Well, it has to be worked on. So a little education on what really the diversion. The diversion was done from people moving from, say, airport area to Okponglo, to Shiashi, to East Legon area. So the 2 lanes that ordinarily would have had vehicles or people moving from the Ghana Standards Authority or the Okponglo area through to airports,
Right.
that was, they were using one of the lanes. Yeah, so it rather brought some inconveniences there. And according to the contractors, averagely about 50,000 vehicles use that site a day. So imagine the volumes, and imagine even around 12, 1, 2, the traffic was intense, and around 5 when it was rush hour, it was a no-go area. People had to stay in traffic for a very long time. And you know, for some vehicles, when you stay in traffic for a very long time, you're either getting overheating, your fuel is going, heat.
Everything, heat at the same time, everything. And so, yeah, some of the cars just have everything powdered in one.
You become very, very frustrated. So
Hey,
I'm so glad.
I was sitting in an Uber.
Really?
Yeah, I was with Angela. I was sitting in an Uber. Oh, I was sweating. I was like, Jesus Christ.
And did you get home with the same amount, like, you know, when you it has shot up?
No, it shot up a bit, a tiny bit. And you know, the man was like, oh, I'm going to take through Gimpa, but I just wanted to get something on the road.
Whoa.
So I was like, please, no. Use
Go
that
for
one.
it.
And you know the funny thing? I put on the Google map, and then normally the Google map will show you that, okay, it's red, it's blocked or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, there was probably a delay or something. It just looked blue, it looked normal. It's as soon as we just entered,
When you
I'm
enter
like,
the traffic.
Oh my God.
So there were comments yesterday on social media that they should think of doing the thing in the evenings or weekends, but the contractor is also saying that the way things are going may delay the completion of the project. By the way,
wait, so if it's going to delay the completion of the project, have they found out which time or which days work for them? Have they come up with that decision?
This actually was going to be done during the day and night. It was going to be a 24-hour thing.
For the 4 months?
For the 4 months.
Every day 4 months?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a 24-hour thing.
We probably have a long way to go right now.
I'm sure that they will find ways to deal with this now that they've actually seen how it works concerning the traffic situation in that particular area, because almost everywhere that you go around Medina, Adenta, Legon, Airport, Tema, that enclave is actually a very busy place. It's actually a very busy place. It's not like it's outskirt. And yesterday we understood that because there was traffic here, a number of the drivers tried using the beach road.
Right.
So the beach road also had its own fair share of the traffic situation.
Yeah, so
there.
basically what it does, it's because it's a central point, it actually has a ripple effect to other roads. Yeah. So because some of the traffic actually started on the Jawuli side.
Yeah, the N1. Yeah.
And meanwhile, the main work is down there, and here in Jawuli, we were already feeling it.
All the vehicles are stacked at one particular place, and I think that it's a very good thing they did by sitting down to analyze the whole situation and trying to get it done. So thank you so much for putting in place measures to at least ease mobility in that particular area. And we also be here for you to also champion the cause or try and tell the general public what new measures you'll be putting in place. But today, we are still going to talk about roads. We are going to a community in the Ashanti region, actually called Kofi Nyamikrom. I don't know whether you've heard of that place before. If you've not heard of Kofi Nyamikrom, then watch this report, filed by our correspondent, Bright Yeboah. We'll tell you the nature of the road after we have detail or further conversation here on the show. Stay with us.
The road network linking Otakrom to Kofi Nyamikrom and Akwabraso in the Atrimamponia district was awarded for construction in 2010 through the Cocoa Board Road project under the administration of former President John Evans Atta Mills. However, residents say the project has largely remained incomplete since the contract was awarded, with only 3 bridges constructed along the stretch. About a month ago, community members of Kofi Nyamikrom contributed funds to help reshape portions of the road due to its deplorable condition. Despite their financial contributions, the work carried out with machines under the District Road Improvement Program failed to complete the intended stretch.
According to Omama Yakwan, na a west in but ombe ne say no omo excavator no be there e be ba begisu but minim whether say be ba na say mba me so le me nkura bre me hu say kwan like ya feel kwan before ya the excavator e gisu da
kwan no dey ase from something say no so na kuafo ye nam so koba dinano ya na edidi to kakra na ye de fa anya kakra de gugu ba bia ho no nya ya fole bone de wan o man twa but if bi afiri ni pem san say kuafo no ye do so won di no ye pese kwan no so eye say eye ha won ti ye pese ye ni ti sika no de obi etua de ofi say ope ni akasa de metua 3 million
na ha ensuo to de a masa ye bre teni pa kura obetumi anante kura beduru ha no ne body a etwaguo nyina aka ho.
According to Obapeni Adwa Buadua, the Queen Mother of Kofi Nyamikrom, the machines deployed worked on the 4.83-kilometer road network from Kofi Nyamikrom to Otakrom for 14 working days. She said the exercise cost the community approximately 22,500 Ghana cedis. She, however, expressed disappointment that the work carried out by the drip machines could not complete the stretch of road that was originally intended to be graded.
Sikan minim se enye ya na ewose ye kwan na emuma huhiahia ye namu no enu nti na me se omo peskan enye kwan enti mesere mo hwe se nye kwan no besi atimi aye no aboaye ya ebema yakwane ya bagie no ye ho nkyere ye wo kwan no so ni mo kan no mo so ti ase e bi wose ye oyo omo ye kwan na pedu be no msa ka chem se nana ska 200 million na adema ye asa je se de yakodo nso akakakra bi ne edu wota akuru nsuo no enti senso no so na yira ama Kofi Nyamikrom na eba omo bre na mse sa na tie dia ne kopa ebesia 30 na msa de ma wo mo se 25 ma wo mo se omo sanfa enko aso omo wie na me akasa me fa akwan so no in fact me kasa me je ya na me bua enwie pa ye se de me pe no enwie pa ye ama nti no we se no ho na me tie a me dwendwene ho ame de ni hia no se nka wo mo sa me bua ye ne kwan no ya tosin no mo ma me ye ma kwan no enye kama se ba mba ni bridge no na mfi se omo fele bridge ni na ane no de that's all manya na me omo ye kam.
Sadiq Abubakar, the assembly member for Otakrom Kofi Nyamikrom electoral area, disclosed that the drip coordinator together with 2 machine operators were each paid an amount of 500 Ghana cedis per day for the period they worked on the stretch.
Ekwane adwuma wo homo se baby e me ko start ye no kra na me ko si mfimfini baby na me de ba enti de aka no ayeden e da ho operators na omo operating machines no so no e dey bia no ye ma omo sika kakra be 500 cedis per day of from machine is for my SM baby kakra nyeden e ma no because omo say omo allowance nyeden emba coordinator na ka ho operators no ye 2 nti omo nam ni patore.
Responding to the concerns, Ishaq Ibrahim, the district chief executive for the Atrimamponua district, admitted that the assembly received financial contributions from residents of Kofi Nyame to support the improvements of the community's road network. According to him, the contributions made by the members of the community were meant to assist in the grading and reshaping of some of the roads to make them more motorable.
So the Nanom and the assemblyman usually come to my office to plead that we have to come to their aid. Yes, we have the drip equipment system, but unfortunately we don't have a constant source of fund to buy fuel for the drip equipment. So we must maneuver our own way to get a fuel for them. We usually depend upon IGF for the fuel for that. But you know, my assembly, most of the community are rural, and getting much IGF is very difficult. So you have to go beyond the boundary to get them. So back and forth, I was able to raise some funds to buy. The blade was blunt, the grader blade was blunt. I was able to raise funds to buy a new blade, and the tractor had a bad gear. You need to fix it. That alone cost us more than 15,000. The community in Nanam supported us. We went with the letter we have to top up with Nanam. We did it. The machine, I have to deploy all the equipment because the roads are very, very bad. All the equipment must go to site to ensure we're able to put the road in the bush. Very long stretch. We couldn't finish. We ran out of funds. So we have to withdraw. I need to write to Feeder Road to come and support. So I've written to Feeder Road to come and support it.
So there's a report from Kofi Nyame Krom filed by Bright Iyebua, who is our correspondent in the Ashanti region. That is an interesting one there, and I like the fact that the chiefs or the traditional authorities there are pushing for this particular road to actually be fixed. And this is a over 4 kilometer stretch, and looking at the way it's dusty during the rainy season and also very muddy, dusty during the dry season and also muddy during the rainy season, it's actually going to affect the trade, the operations of the farmers there, which we understand is a farming community, and also is also going to affect the movement of the residents there. Right, Yebua will be joining us shortly, and we also had conversations with him at the background, indicates that this particular stretch has been like that for a very long time. But with the drip machines even being used on, and they are compelled to pay these operators an amount of 500 Ghana cedis a day, it tells you that they really want the road fixed. So if the district chief executive is also trying to do something about it, then maybe attention must be paid to this particular road. This is, I think, a feeder road, sort of an inner road there. So if much attention is being paid to this particular road, it's going to help them because it's connecting to communities, Kofi Nyame Krom and Otakrom. Chris, have you heard of Otakrom before?
Never.
Have you heard of Kofi Nyame Krom before?
Never.
So where do you know in Ghana?
It's Legon.
It's Where do you know in Ghana, Chris Carter?
Oh, I do know places.
Where do you know that? Where do you know in Ashanti region?
Well, I don't know the names, but I've just gone to these places.
Frema Dunyame, Mr. Samalata Mensa. She has to go on caravan.
That's why I was supposed to be on the caravan.
No, you will. No, agreed. But because Ashanti region, you don't know Kofi Nyame Krom.
You, Seth, you don't even know.
You don't know Otakrom.
I've been to Ho.
Oh, okay.
I've been to the Volta region.
Bright is on. Let's bring Bright and have a conversation with him on the nature of the road in Kofi Nyame Krom. Bright, good morning.
Good morning.
I trust you're doing well.
I'm very
We're grateful for joining us. Well, we have seen it on TV, but this is just like a 3 or 4 minutes report that you filed. What more must we know about this particular road that is connecting Kofi Nyame Krom and Otakrom? And besides, let me ask you this first question. The Kofi Nyame Krom and Otakrom, let us understand, say you are coming from the city, that is the capital city of the Ashanti region, Kumasi. How are we going to get to this Kofi Nyame Krom area? Chris must know.
People who are very familiar with the Kumasi area would know that on the
Right, you can hardly hear you.
Yeah. Hello, Philip.
Yes, go ahead. I think it's better.
terrain would know that the Kofinyamiko is located.
We are having challenges with our line. I think he's in motion. He is moving. So unfortunately, we are not able to get Bright on the line. But let's make connections to other persons within the community and then speak to them, and maybe the district chief executive or the assembly member for Otakrom, since this particular road is connecting the two communities, that is Kofi Nyamekrom and Otakrom. Bright was trying to let us understand where this particular community is located within the Ashanti region, be it Kofi Nyamekrom or Otakrom. But the story we are bringing you is that the community members are complaining about the deplorable nature of the road. They have done their own. The district chief executive or the assembly has actually moved in with the drip machines, which we saw on screens, trying to make the stretch more travel. And you know, with roads, when the road is made more travel, it helps in economic activities, and people who would have to move their produce or whatever commodity it is from the farm to the bigger market is going to help. But if the road is in a very deplorable state, that means they are going to be finding it very difficult to go about their day-to-day activities, and it's also going to have a toll on their lives there. It's going to make life very unbearable. And even the few vehicles in the area, they wouldn't want to be plying the stretch, because you are using your vehicle on the road and the next minute it breaks down. We all know the ramification of the effect or the impact it's going to have on our vehicles. So if you are using your vehicle and the road is not it's not in a very good shape, eventually it affects your vehicle, it affects your finances, and it also affects your health. But back to you, Chris. I was asking you where you know in the Ashanti region. You said you've been to Ho before. I just want to know which you for Ho, which part of Ho did you go to?
I don't even know.
You don't know?
I just go around and enjoy myself, and that's it.
So you have been in Accra all your life?
Do I even know everywhere in Accra?
Okay. Maybe let me mention one of the places in Accra. Let me see what I know there. Choco, you know Choco, right?
Of course.
You know Choco. Okay.
Jamestown side,
do you know Opetekwe? You don't know Opetekwe? Do you know Gbegbeise?
What's that?
You don't know Gbegbeise?
Where is that?
Oh, really? It's in Dansoman. It's in DC.
Okay, maybe I know DC.
If you don't know Gbegbeise, you don't know Opetekwe, you don't know.
I know Sahara.
Do you know Mpoase?
No.
Do you know 205? No. Do you know Kare Kare? Oh,
no.
You don't know places in Accra.
Oh,
you need to take you around. Anyway, Bright, your boy is back on. Bright, so you were making us understand where the Kofi Nyamekrom place is located within the Ashanti region, using Kumasi as the starting point.
Yes, so people who are very familiar with the Ashanti terrain of Kumasi, to be specific, would know that Kofi Nyamekrom is located along the Buakwa and Carrier stretch. That's where it's particularly located. So it's between the Carrier and Nehu.
So when you visited this community, first let's understand. We know some of them are farmers. Are they predominantly farmers in the area, or there are other individuals who are into other trade? And how is the road network having a toll on their day-to-day activities or their lives?
To be specific, when you talk about the Achimamponia district per se, it's got a lot of villages in this particular enclave. And so Kofi Nyamekrom happens to be one of these villages. And mostly they are engaged in a lot of farming activities, cocoa farming, plantain, and then again, palm plantation as well. And so basically almost all the agriculture is that's what they engage in. And so specifically, the people in Kofi Nyamekrom engage in farming, various forms of farming activities. Now, people who again are familiar with the Achimamponia district will attest to the fact that when it comes to road networks in that particular enclave, it's very poor, it's dire. And so my interaction with the community members and even the assembly member and then the traditional leader, the Queen Mother, they clearly told me that it's having a great toll on their farming activities. Things, especially when it gets to the raining season. Now, they harvest their crops and they are having challenges commuting or transporting them from these villages to the city centers, that is Kumasi, the central market, to sell these produce. So it's one of the challenges that they are having to deal with. Now, with my interaction with the traditional leader, the Queen Mother, Adjoa Buadua, she explained to me that at the time, it was the main challenge was that they deal with their school facility.
Mm-hmm.
So the school building was in a deplorable state. So what they did was to contribute to help reshape or to build the proper school facility or school buildings for the people in the Kofi Krom village.
Okay.
So, but after the contribution, then dawned on her that these people are having to, they're dealing a lot with the road network situation. The economic activities are actually at stake. And so what they did was, how about we can reshape this road network so that at least it would improve on their economic activities in the area.
Okay.
But again, next mention of the transfers.
Bright, we are still having a little challenge with your line. Thank you so much. The information you're giving is enough. We are grateful. We understand that the individuals within the Chuma in Punya area or the Kofi Nyame Krom area are predominantly farmers into cocoa farming and all that. Thank you so much for your time, Bright. We are grateful, and we want to say that thank you, and we will bringing you other aspect of the conversation. If we should get the district chief executive, we will speak to him extensively, also asking him a few questions. Which one is the lasting solution or the solution to this particular problem, or is it really in their budget? Has it been communicated to the Roads and Highways Ministry? What exactly is being done about it and all that? But I like the fact that the traditional authorities have waded into it to get the road fixed for them. Like Chris were saying earlier, once you have your road network in a very good shape, it will boost your economic activities. And like I also said earlier, you may not have heard of a community called Kofi Nyame Krom.
Exactly.
Yes, but maybe the plantain you are eating is coming from Kofi Nyame Krom.
There, sure.
Yes, or maybe the cocoa the cocoa beans is also coming from Kofi Nyame Krom. So like we said earlier, the district chief executive for Echuma Mponia is on the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
I trust you are doing well.
You are doing great, sir. And you?
We are doing well. First of all, let's understand the situation with the Kofi Nyame Krom road to Otar Krom. What exactly is being done about it from your outfit, or what can you tell us about this particular road?
Okay, it's a feeder route from Otar Krom to Kofi Nyame Krom, maybe around 6 kilometers. But that stretch is stretch to other communities, to Akwabra, so to Sleso. So when you take the whole entire stretch, it will be around 15 kilometers.
Okay. Wow, 15 kilometers.
Yeah.
And what is the plan for this road? You've said it's a feeder road. Is there a long-term plan to make this road very much trouble for residents and farmers within these communities to heave a sigh of relief?
Okay. Currently, especially more trouble. Before I took over, it was very bad road. It's a road that vehicle couldn't apply. So what we did we moved in the entire equipment, drip equipment, to grade and gravel the road to allow easy movement of vehicles and other road usage gadgets. So for now, it's better than before.
Okay. So are we leaving it at that, the graveling, the leveling, and all that, or is there another step we'll go beyond this?
Okay, there's another step. I have written to FIDA Road to come and support us because looking at the nature of the road, the assembly alone cannot fix it. So we have written to FIDA Road to come to our aid so that we can put into better level where almost any road user can do that road.
Before you took over as the district chief executive for that area, did you see in your books when you assumed office that that particular road has been awarded to a contractor?
Okay, you know, at one point we have about 488 road network. Only 10 kilometers bitumen, the rest are feeder road, or what we call engineering road. Before I took over, somewhere 2009, the road was given to a contractor to fix bridges and covert on the road. They did it, but they didn't level the road. They fixed the bridge and left. So you could see there's a full of gully, a vehicle can't use it. So when I came to power somewhere August, then another assemblyman came to me complaining to myself. I went there and realized that, look, we must do something for them. Other than that, their cocoa and other farm products can be moved from the farming gate to the market. So quickly we mobilize ourselves with the brave equipment to do what we can. So for now, it's better than before. Vehicle and other road users can move in there to say the road easily than when I took over.
Wow. So how often do you have the drivers going there now that it's quite okay? Is it a community that you have maybe once a while you have a vehicle moving in there, or is this very frequent?
Once we have maintained the road, each day cars have to go there because it's a farming community. People there are into cocoa and plantain production. So each day they need a car to move in there to move their farm produce to market. And also people there also have to come to town and buy other things. So it's a road that is being used every day. So at any point, cars move there to carry their people or carry farm produce to the market. So it's such a kind of busy road.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much for your time, DCE. But before you go, any final words you'd want to share with us and also your people who are also watching and hoping that in no time you'll be getting the road fixed fully, though it's been made more trouble and the graveling has been done?
Okay, I'm urging the transport minister to come to our aid. The assembly alone cannot bear the responsibility regarding to road fixing in my community, my district. As I said earlier on, we have 488 road network kilometers. With this, only 10 kilometers is bitumen. The rest are feeder road. And assembly alone cannot carry on the reshaping, graveling, and other things. So we are inviting the road minister to come to our aid with a big push and other program they have so that our people can enjoy free movement of their goods and enjoy other services that depend on the road use.
Thank you so much for your time, sir. He's the district chief executive of Echuma Imponia. He has said it all that there is a plan for it, though some graveling and leveling has been done on the road. They can't do it or as the assembly, so they would ask that the government will now move in and get it done fully, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just hope everything just goes well for them because honestly, this affects their whole economic chain. Because at the end of the day, if your roads are not working, how do you make money?
Like the way we had traffic in Accra and we couldn't move around. But anyway, a message I got on the traffic one before we cross over quickly and bring you what we have to get from the Heritage on air series is that they are launching one beam at a time, and the launching of the beams is critical, so it must be launched on the abutment during the day. No error in placing them. So as we are all pushing, this is coming from Engineer Mahama, so as we are all pushing that it should be done in the evening, it is a critical one that has to be launched. So there shouldn't be any error in launching the beam. So it has to be done during the day so we can see it. It's not like you're going to work with light. But anyway, you'll still be following up on this one, Killian. We bring you updates on that, Chris.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. This is what we have for you as, our community story today. But now it's time for us to get into the Heritage on Air series. And yesterday we started a series of the kingdoms and non-centralized states, part 1. Now we're going to be playing part 2 of the kingdoms and non-centralized states with Bernard Avle featuring the historian Kweku Dako Ankra. Let's enjoy. We'll be back.
Ago.
We continue with our conversations on the Heritage Month here on Channel 1 Television and 97.3 CDFM, still looking at various aspects of our history for the month. We're continuing a discussion on kingdoms and non-centralized groups. In the first part of this two-part series, we discussed the Akwamu and Edinchura and spoke also about some states within the Akan Enclave. Today we're going to talk about the Ga Kingdom and then also discuss some non-centralized groups with Kweku Dako Ankra. Stay with us.
Ago.
Hey, Dr. Ramsey. Hey, how's it going? It's good. So when the patients come in, I usually say, we only do regular cleanings if your mouth is healthy, which means you don't have a lot of hard plaque buildup underneath your gum or above your gum line. You don't see a lot of bleeding when you're brushing or flossing. There's no shaky teeth, no inflammation going on.
Right. And if they do have all those things that you mentioned, then they need to have a different type of cleaning, which is called a deep cleaning or periodontal therapy. Also could be called scaling and root planning. Sounds a little bit scary, but it's not. Basically, you have a lot of hardened plaque underneath the gum line where you can't see with your eyes. And that bacteria is causing an infection. And that's what's causing the gums to puff up and bleed. Some people notice bad breath odor that no matter how they brush, they floss, it won't go away.
Healthy smile.
Welcome back. So today we're discussing or continuing our discussion on kingdoms and also non-centralized groups. Before we come to the Ga conversation, do kingdoms begin? What's the evolution of a kingdom?
Thank you very much. So from all the history of the kingship, we realize that they all trace their ancestry. I'm talking about the royal family to an epical ancestor who is the founder of the community or who brought that specific ethnic group together. So, for instance, if you take the history of the Ashantis, whether Dintra and so on, in the Akan society, it traces an African ancestor who is a woman. And they have what we call the clan system or the Ebusia. And out of the Ebusia that actually grew in population, there was the need for governance. So first it started with clanship leadership, where someone is the clan head and was heading the community. So that brought the idea of what is called Odidie, okay? Odidie is the one who actually owned the space or the land that people were in. Then when the growing expanded into a crow or a town, we migrated into the principle of what is called Odikro. So the one who heads the town also came into it. Then the development went on. And then people from the towns moved out, created different forms of towns that all claim allegiance to that specific original town. And then there were other clans, heads, who have also grown this way. And over a time, all these people came together, and then one person emerged as a leader. In some society, it emerged through war, where that specific ethnic clan leader emerged as the king of the entire group. For example, Ashanti region, Ashanti kingdom, where you have the Oyoko family emerging as the head of the kingdom. Okay? Because they were the leading group that went to the war. They called for the coming together of the various clan families to come together and fight their common enemy, the Denchra. So you have it. Prior to that, these towns themselves have developed with their own figureheads or chiefs who were controlling their territory. So you see the Kwaman with raised to Kokofu, okay? All the way they established Kwaman, established the town of Kumasi, which they bought from the chief of Tafu, and then live there. So you see the evolution that right from a person owning the town, moving to become a clan head, becoming the Odikro, and then joining with a conglomeration of other clan heads and families, emerging as what? The chief or the king, the overlord. So now the person who heads the entire state then become the chief or the king. And then beyond you are the town chiefs, what we call the subdivisions. So they are the subdivisional chiefs. And below the subdivisional chiefs are their own town chiefs who they exert authority on. And these chiefs also have authority over the clan heads in that order. So that is the arrangement that brought about. So we see clearly that from the very beginning, these societies also lived a mode of acephalous society nature and then evolved. Wonderful. You see, so they were not originally kinship.
You said the Ga are interesting because there are two schools of thought around whether they are acephalous or whether they are centralized. Because, of course, now the major Ga states have their own overlord or ruler. So just walk me through the evolution of the Ga system.
So the Gans, as we know, the history of where they came from, have been argued to that they came from, like the people who talk about coming from Oyo State. There were people who claim to have also come from Benin State, as well as some contestation of people who also believe that Ghana themselves may have probably come from within the Volta River basin area. That notwithstanding, these people came to Accra through eastward migration, and then they came to settle and form their pre-colonial kingdom of Ayawaso. Okay, and then they settled there until there was a contestation about the power there. And in this power struggle, the Akomus also invaded Accra and defeated the Gans at Ayawaso. And as a result, there was a migration to the coast. And this migration to the coast, history tells us that they came to meet Lakote Adueshi, who was already then settling there. And Lakote Adueshi was a priest. So people believe, as a priest, the idea of ownership of the land as an aboriginal who was already on the coast was a form of theocratic governance, where the Gulomo, and Gulomo is a priestly office. And as a result, any rule by a priest is theocratic in terms of governance identification. So this Gulomo, who is also who will also qualify at the same time as Asasiria or Shiache, was the one who exerts that authority. Now, without moving much into certain contestation, the people of Nungwa contend that they were the first to be on the coast, and as a result, leadership even ought to have been with them as a result of this arrangement of the theocratic order. But the people that moved from the Ayawasu to become the Gamashi people, who came down, actually established that sort of kingdom, and then exert an overreach powers over other Ga states. I.e., as you know, we have the La group, who from the very beginning were settling close to the Ekuapem before they moved down, conquering people on their way down to the coast. That's why they call La Dadekotopong, which means the remover of the mighty one. So the people they were able to, defeat all the way, they came to the coast and were there. Then we have the Teshi people, who are also a conglomeration of people between the Teshi and the Nungwa. Then you have the Nungwa group, also as another gang group. You have the Osu, what we call the Kadigbos, who mostly were from the Dangwe areas, as well as some from Labadi areas. All of them came together and settled at Osu. That's why you see the Osu name, Nuete, Note. It shows you about their Dangwe origins from the Krobo areas and coming down to the coast. Then you also have the people of Taba, the Bahian group, also joining this group to make the sub-Ga states. And from within these Ga states, over the years, as a result of warfare and what have you, the people of Gamashi, who were the first to actually want the idea of kinship system, then exert authority like it happens in all other states, to have its power extended to all these Ga states. And that underneath some of the undercurrent of chieftaincy issues and contestation of who is the senior and who ought to rule the Ga state. And why sometimes too there's contestation as to, even if it's the Gamashi, the Gamanche from Gamachi is a king, he doesn't even have land if you compare it to La people, who by far have the largest land within the Ga state, or the Nungwa and so on. So the evolution itself, as I've shown you, shows the idea. If you go back to the colonial treaties, some of them were signed between the Wulomos and the Europeans and not the kings. And that is what is being used to show that indeed, if you look critically into the Ga governance architecture, there was an element of theocratic governance before it evolved into the Akan system of chieftaincy.
Was there ever a time they fought together as one group?
They have always fought in the war as one, not differently, because they understand their common identity as Ga people. And so whenever there is war, they join together, the Gans came together and fought against the Akwamu in 1730, because it was the war that will give them their freedom. So for Ga people, they are motto that we say, the meaning is that do the great one, the multitude that do not have deserted towns, because prior to that they have become deserted, and then they came together and they went and fight the Akwamus, and then they defeated them. Of course, it was not the Ga alone. The Ga groups, all of them came together. There were some Fantis, there were people from the Achim, all of them joining together because they were all fed up with the overbearing attitude of the Akwamu, where they have the power to capture some of their people and send them to slavery and so on. So they wanted to remove the shackle of oppression of which the Akwamu rule has placed on them. So this common experience of suffering brought all of them together, and in that war, it was not only Gamachi that went to that war. All of them came together. Again, in the Katamanso War, okay, they also came together, and then they went to the war. So if you look at Randolph's books, he has a list of every warrior from each Ga state, and the names are there.
Wow.
He lists all the Asafa chess. And the military and the people belonging all the various Asafoi or the Asafu group, the names are there. Anybody can go and take Randall's book on the history of Gold Coast and Ashanti hinterlands. Everything is there. The names. It was not that only one group of people went to fight.
Wow.
All the Ga people brought their warriors together, and then even the Sakumo priests came out with prophecies and even directed who should lead them in the war.
Wow.
So we have Takekome joining to lead the war, and with other warriors in that order.
Wow. So they have been very theocratic, and that's why the Ulume are still very critical.
Yes, because, when society evolves, there are certain fixtures that continue to be exhibited within that society. And that gives you an inkling into how that society used to be before it evolved into its current state.
Wow. This is interesting. We'll take a short breather. When we come back, we'll look at non-centralized states as well, because we've discussed the Ghana who were centralized, but we'll look at a few more on this second of our two-part series looking at kingdoms and non-centralized states. Stay with us.
Do you want a healthy smile?
So what we do to rid all of that bacteria is we do what's called a deep cleaning or periodontal therapy. So that is 2 visits. You'll come in and we'll make sure you're very comfortable, because that bacteria is very hard. It doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
So we need to get you numb. So we'll get you numb on one side, the right side, let's say, and top and bottom, and then we'll go through just a disinfection process. And we may have you use also like a rinse to kind of aid in that process, because we want your gums to get healthy. Mm-hmm. Then we do the other side, and after that, it's kind of like hypertension. It doesn't ever go away, but we can control it and get the gums healthy. We can't, because the bone shrinks, so we can't regrow the bone, we can't regrow the gums, but we can keep it healthy where it's at and make sure that you don't lose more bone. Because when you have periodontal disease, it's kind of like your teeth are in quicksand, so we need to stabilize things. So you would need to come back after you get the therapy every 3 months.
Healthy smile.
Welcome back. We're still having this fascinating conversation on our Heritage Month here on Channel 1 Television and 97.3 CDFM. Kweku Dankwa walking us through some very interesting histories. In the first part, we spoke about the Akwamo and the Dintra. In the second part, we discussed the Ga and also clarified the evolution of kingdoms. We want to end by looking at the so-called non-centralized states, because we have to also do justice to this. There are many. So we've said that for them, they are feudal. So they come together when it's necessary. And you can even say that up till today, the way they behave, they have a lot of solidarity among themselves. Can you discuss one or two of those groups?
So, for instance, if I take the South, the people for example, some of them have mingled with the Akan states. So it becomes difficult to even identify them, particularly among the Fanti group. They have so mingled with the Fantis that it is even very difficult to actually see who is an original Eti person or who is a Fanti. Like me today, the town I come from, Anoma, was originally an Eti settlement before the Bobo Fanti group who migrated from Techiman came to the coast and swallowed the chieftain, the people who were there, the Eti people, then ruled by their leader called Nana Apia Mensah before they took the territory from him. For the Fanti's own oral history, when they came, the Etis were the people who were occupying Mankesim, and they have their leader called Nana Akraman. He was so powerful a leader that he exerted influence from that town. In fact, that town was called, before it became Mankesim, it was called Adwejiri, which today is known within the eastern corridors. So Adwejiri town was where the Nana Akraman was ruling. And he was the one who gave the Fantis permission and opportunity to stay close with them, until later the Fanti used a lot of tricks and then having the overwhelming power overwhelming him. Prior to that, history tells us that Akraman exerted influence from the Adwejili enclave all the way to some part of the coast. And he had a leadership system where the succession model too was there through their family system. And Akraman's power was such that he could expand his authority over other neighboring scattered acephalous societies. And he exerted this influence by trading even with the Europeans. And he was coming to the coast, mingling with other Asifolo societies like the Etis of the Anomabo, which in the past they called them Oyantase. And there was records of those periods where they go and trade with Europeans. In fact, if you look at the colonial history, even when the Portuguese came in 1471, the towns on the coast who were Fantis, some of them have not emerged. And there were those Asifolo societies there. So the strength of Akraman was such that when the Fantis came, they have to play it cool with them. So the fact that an Asifolo society doesn't have centralized system does not mean they didn't have protective mechanism or they were not militaristic. The problem with their architecture was that, if you look from Akraman, was that they live in the scattered spaces. So mobilization against a common enemy takes time. And more often, because they were also there on the coast long before the Akans came, they lack actually the iron technology. Because the Akans came with the iron technology. So they could make machines which were more superior to the inferior Asai or sledgehammer which the indigenous people were using. So in terms of numbers, in terms of metallistic equipment, they have far advanced one, and they have far advanced military tactics of Asafo, which the Eti or the non-centralized people, they don't have. So in this contestation between Akraman and the Nefantis, who then do not even have a king. The Fantis, when they came, they also didn't have a king. They have a priest leaders, Obunuman Kuma, Odepejan, and Osun. When they reached Mankesim, it was Osun alone who was alive. So the various groups under them, they have their leaders, and they will later move out of Mankesim to go and find their towns. And the towns they will later find, some of them is the Ekumufi, Inyan, Anomabu, Gomua, and the last one, which is Abra. So these were people who came out of them. But today they have included other people. So this 7 group, earlier 5 group, they came together and then they fought against Nana Akraman, who was the leader of the Eti people, and they defeated him. So the Fantis took his town and renamed it Mankesim. That is big town. And then Akraman moved to Gomua, where he started within Apam area. And then, according to the legend, which is full when you talk the history of the Asifolo societies, because there were people who believe in the supernatural, that when he reached the Apam, that Burapa, that was the town he entered into the well, which in fact is Buddha, and then he vanished. So that place is called Burapa. And that is where he left, and his family are still there who propitiate. So that Burapa has become what is called a shrine, which people propitiate, and now they are embedded within the Fanti society, and the identity called Eti is no longer showing within, because they have been incorporated into the larger Fanti ethnic identification.
Fanti were separate states. They never became one kingdom.
So Fantis have a system of governance which is unique from the other states. Right from Mankesim, they were independent of each other, but they knew themselves to be one. So when they settled there, the leader of Mankesim was called Amanfo. So Mankesim's original name is Amanfo. In fact, if you meet anybody from Mankesim, you greet him, Kwentra Amanfo, and then he will also respond, Amanfo Jadu, because that is the original name. Then you have the Nana Nkusu, who leads the Nkusukum group. That is the area from Mankesim. Immediately after the runabout, there's a cemetery if you are going to Cape Coast. All the way up to Kromante, those are Nkusukum towns. Then after Anomabu, they move all the way from Ibirua to Yamransa, and Yamransa is their capital town. Sopon is their Adwantini division. But some people think that Sopon is the capital town of Nkusukum people. Then you have the Ekumisi, which is when you eastward migration after Mankesim Station there, that town where the filling station is, that people drop, all the way up to the interiors, up to what's the town's name? It's a Mensa's town. What's that name? Kumprano. He has links there, Kumprano through Salfabuano, all the way through Otom. And then Abraham, yes, Otom. You say Otom, it's Otom. So all the way to Otom. That is where the how do you call it? The Ekumefi also end. Then you have the Inyan people, they are called the Wakers. Their leader was Nanasa, who also lead them to that area. And then Obatanu Gomua's leader, who also brought them there. And they went to found other towns like Edumakun, all the way through all the Gomua cluster of towns, including Gomua German and Gomua America and all those people. So that is the way it is. But when they were at Mankesim, the governance system was that they had a leader who took them of them. It's a military leader. He's called Brafu. When the Brafu was a traveling magistrate, whatever issues the people have, he presides over it. And his office then was also attached to what is called Nananumumpo, which is where they buried the three great ancestors of the Fanti, the patriarchs, Obumakwa and Odepejan. That is where they buried their body, and it's become an oracle which the Fantis propitiate in terms of asking for any solution from their deity. So the Nananumumpo is widely known as the Fantis National Oracle. So, and the office of the Brafu was linked to that oracle. And what it is that the Fantis, he was not a king, he was not a chief, but he was someone with authority to deliver judgment, because Brafu from the olden days is the one who have the wisdom and is able to turn things down. Over the time, the Brafu turned into executioner. So we know it today that Brafu is an executioner. But prior to that, in fact, Ramantini in his PhD thesis even explained the evolution of Brafu system from advisory role and counseling and how it evolved into the office of executioner, because he has the authority to execute with the staff of office. So the Fantis have that one. And then from there, when they spread, they went with their leaders. They were not kings. But over the years, they were what we call asafohene. So a person who moved out of the Mankesim, you go and settle your place, but you will still, when there is an issue to be dealt with, you return back to Mankesim to talk to your Obatan, who is the leader of your group. And if the case is so thorny, it is then given to the traveling judge or the Brafu, who will settle the issue. So over the years, these asafohenes also grow in stature, and then they appropriated the account system of kinship. So that is how the Fanti system is completely different.
So it's a unique system.
So it's a unique system. So some people call it a confederacy. Some people, like my own Professor Shomwe, describe it as a Fanti coalition instead of using the term confederacy and other sort of things.
Of course. And within the coast, there were people like the Futu who were actually originally Guans.
Yes.
Who are also along the coast near Winneba. Not to be confused with Fantis.
No, not to be confused with Fantis. Like and so are also the interior ones like Ewutu. The Ewutu people, so we have the Ewutu, the people from the Ewutu Breku area, and then we have Senya Breku. The Senya Brekus are those who are much closer to the Fantis. They are on the beach from Gobwafete, those around that area. And then those in the interior Breku, they are also closer to the Gan. So you see that these two Ewutu group, those on the coast, their language is influenced by the Fanti, and those in the interior, the Ewutu Breku people, their language is also influenced by Gan. In fact, their naming system and so on.
But they are all Guans.
They are all Guans in that order. As well. And even the Elmina and all other group, they were all Shama and all those groups. They were all indigenous group that were there before the Fantis came to the coast. So that is one for the, but one other example of Guan state is the one that was created, which is by far the largest, created by Atala Finam. Well, the name, according to the Guam people, is Atele, Atele. But over the years, it has become Atala. So that it was a very powerful kingdom. He created a very powerful kingdom from the hinterlands of Accra all the way to Tafu. And he exerts so much authority that oral traditions from the Enumbosu and other area describe him as a leader who was so powerful that none of the Asifolo societies and even emerging Akan group to contest his power. He was defeated by a group of pre-Asante states. That is Kwaman, Agogo. And then the other one was the name? Kumeu. All of them coming together, including the people of Kweu, because the guy exerted power all the way to Tafu areas. So they came together, and that area that Atala of Firam used to have authority, which in Ashanti language is called Setre areas. Okay, Setre areas. That was where his powers were. So these Setre groups, including Kwaman, including Agogo, and Kumeu, all of them joined together to fight against Atala of Finam. And then they were able to defeat his kingdom. But this is to explain to you that Aboriginal societies, or Asifolo societies, were not that weak. But prior to the emergence of the Akan centralized states, they were able to also expand their own territories. And the example of Atala of them show us that it doesn't matter your style of governance, but with a strong leader, you will be able to also expand your territory, stretching even from the coast all the way to Ashanti hinterland.
We'll leave it here for now. Thank you, Kweku Dankwa, for those fascinating insights into the various histories of both kingdoms and non-centralized groups. This is the Heritage Month on 97.3 CDFM and Channel 1 Television. My name is Ben Alavle. We'll be with you next time. Bye-bye.
Ago. Ago.
Hello everyone, I am Nura the Linguist. Celebrating the Heritage Month, we start with beautiful scars. Beautiful scars. You know, the most amazing thing about life is our scars. It sinks in deep to remind us of our past. In the scattered waters we swam through the fog, we survived, our skin so thick, never worn out. We became cold-blooded, did it ourselves unaided. Thoughts in our heads crowded, couldn't see through, blindfolded. And then we finally decided. We faked our smiles, tried to fit in, but rather in exile. To the world we are the best, but deep down our hearts and souls are scattered, shattered and clattered into pieces outnumbered. We've gone through the struggle and turmoil. We've came across thorns with hurdles and hedges. We've sailed through the storm and watered the desert. And yes, with hill fishes and blisters, we still stood on our feet. No, we can't just flee. We have to be on point, discreet. The sound of that gunshot, we shall raise it to the end point and grab it hot so it never rots. Beautiful scars, now we are the stars, from Jupiter to Mars, racing through like gas, unwithered like bars. So if you see us in our car, boy, you for Bab. Sake of what we've been through, be clear. The sacrifices we've made, you can't compare. So the next time you see us, you for bow. Now we chew the chicken flexibly. We stand and speak boldly. We see the money daily and we spend it wisely. When we stand, we receive applause. Charlie, you know the cause. Hey, we force, always waiting to see a change on the dice. Do not strive to be recognized, but rather strive to be worthy of recognition, says Abraham Lincoln. Beautiful scars, it makes us stronger with time, and we struggle for success. We are celebrating Ghana. I am the daughter of my ancestors. From the Gold Coast, Ghana, my motherland, as the name suggests, Nura, the light. I brighten up the tunnels and dungeons our forefathers passed through to the Atlantic Ocean to be shipped to the land of no return. Oh, sorry, they returned. As a saying that goes, that when you point a finger to someone, there's four more pointing towards you. I guess this is a reflection of we do, we black do black. I bet you know European would have been able to take our people from our people without our own people, covered in ropes and garments, taking our people from our people to the Europeans. From the shores of Elmina, where the waves whisper secrets, to the castles of Cape Coast, where the walls hold echoes of chains, I hear them. The cries of my ancestors, I hear them. Like the rhythm of the Balongo drum beating in my chest, reminding me of who I am. In the streets, from Mamobi to Nima, their spirit walks with me. They are in the laughter of market women, in the shouts of church women, sek, 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 in the sweat of fishermen casting their net out dawn. They are alive. And then there is Kwame Nkrumah, a man who stood tall, a lion amongst lions. He said, "We face neither east nor west, we face forward." And forward we went, from the cocoa farms of the Ashanti to the fishing villages of the Ada. We marched under the black star, our flag, our pride, our freedom. In the communities, the smell of wake and kinke reminds me that I am home. The kente I wear, woven with threads of gold and history, of kings and queens, of mothers who carry the world on their shoulders and still stood tall. We danced the Hadowa, even when our voices were shackled. We sang high life songs, even when our voices trembled. We built, we tilled, we loved under the same sun that once watched us suffer. But like the baobab tree, we still stood tall, gallant, Salaga. Now we are free, not just from the chains of colonial rule, but from the chains of self-doubt, from the shadows of remembering that we are the children of resilience, the grandchildren of warriors, the great-grandchildren of those who refuse to die in silence. So when you see me, know that I am Nura the light. I carry the fire of my ancestors, the knowledge of Nkrumah, the rhythm of the Palongo drum, and the unbreakable spirit of Ghana. I am the daughter of the Gold Coast, the land of gold, cocoa, and of freedom. And as long as I live, I will shine for my country, for my motherland, for Ghana. Celebrating our wonderful women. People say pearls are found deep down in the ocean. Well, I guess I'll have to be that destined mermaid to pick that precious pearl up. Now what if I told you that pearl was here, those thoughts moving swifter than a fair, her remembrance, perfection, no memories to clear. Let me tell you a story. In her time, the birth of a female means nothing but a curse. No regard for mother or child. Before the midwife announces the gender of the baby, she has to take a pause, look straight into the eyes of the father till she could feel his heartbeat and the sound of blood rushing through his veins, expectations bulging out of his eyes, waiting to hear, "It's a boy." Well, I'm sorry, mister, it's a girl and you have to deal with it. Disregard was all she felt. Loved the way she wanted, like candy under the sun melt. On one knee, She knelt, expressing how she felt. To the ground she was thrown, just as a ragged, discarded bone. Then she hit puberty, finally a time when the lion can enjoy its prey. She was given out of marriage at a teenage age. Probably what she knew was mad as food games. To her, it was just a change of a playground, so she can go and continue being a baby, not knowing she was expected to produce a baby and take care of a bigger baby. Table turns. Now it turns out that she is a lucrative business. She became a commodity. Nothing left of her, not even her dignity. Sanctifying her spirit, she couldn't even find her sanity. She was made to believe nothing was of her. She went in not expecting any love or care. At least the mommy-daddy game she played is now a reality. She is a pair. Ouch. That hurts. Maybe the scar is beautiful in his eyes. No, I can't just leave. My kids will face trauma and this is king. What will society say? My dead body on that floor one day will lay, and before you might see me, I might decay. For better, for worse, through thick and thin, in beatings and cleanings of wounds till death do her apart from him. Enough is enough. You say my place is the kitchen and not the office. I tell you I own both. I rule and you must obey. I command and you must follow. And if you think I'm joking, you can try me, you know. In fact, you're fired. Today is Fugu Wednesday. We are celebrating our beautiful Fugu pieces. And I'm here to tell you that Fugu is not a fashion statement. It is a fortress. Let them call it a blouse, let their laughter hang in the air like cheap perfume. They do not know that this cloth is the skein of 1,000 stories, that every thread is a vein pulled straight from the earth of this land. This is Ghana talking. Our president wears it and they laugh. He wears it as an armor, as a reminder, as a portable piece of this land soul, draped over the shoulders of leadership. You are laughing at the skin of history itself, but we are not laughing. We are wrapping ourselves in resurrection, thread by thread, pride by pride. This is a cloth that survived the ships, it survived the whips, it survived the maps they drew to divide what they could never understand. You think this fabric fears a tweet? You think this pride fears a post? This is the cloth that sailed the Atlantic in spirit. While our bodies were thrown overboard, this is the cloth that stayed, that waited, that remembered the hands that wove it before they were stolen. This is the cloth that said, I will survive, I will return, and I will be worn as a weapon of beauty. Fugu Friday, now Fugu Wednesday, is not a trend. It is a reclamation statement. Every photo posted is an act of rebellion. From the diaspora to the motherland, we are stitching ourselves back together in full view of a world that thought would forget. Now this is a reckoning. Look at what we've created. Look at what we choose to wear. Not because the world approves, but because our bones remember the land. To those who mocked, your joke became an anthem. You tried to shame the symbol, and instead, you united the spirit. Now watch as we wear what you cannot understand. Our past, our power, our unapologetic presence. This is not a trend. This is a testament. We are the sons and daughters of Ghana, and we dress our truth. So when you see this cloth, do not ask what it is made of. Ask who it is made of. We are in every thread, and we are not asking for your approval. We are showing you our glory. So wear your fugu. Wear it as a pride. Wear it as your birthright. Wear it like a battle cry. Wear it and remember that they can laugh at the cloth, but they will kneel before the kingdom that wove it. We are Ghana, clothed, crowned, unconquered. I am Nura, the linguist.
Ago.
All right, that was a beautiful set of poems by Nura the linguist. And she's here with us and lets us pick her mind on what she does. Hi, Nura, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So how long have you been doing this for?
For over 6 years.
For over 6 years.
Yeah.
And you call yourself a linguist instead of a poet. What's the difference?
So, a linguist is someone who communicates words or information from a higher authority. And mostly a linguist communicates it with the perception that the people do not understand what the higher authority is saying. So in a better way for them to understand. And most of the time it's in a different language. So I am communicating to people what probably the world is saying or what they should hear in different languages. So it might be in Hausa, it might be in English, Tree, or any other language.
So, but you give us English.
Yeah.
So are you saying that there are other languages that you're actually communicating?
Yeah, mostly Hausa.
Mostly Hausa?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's like in poem forms too?
Yes, yes.
In Hausa?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. Can you give us a line or two?
Yeah, sure. I have a piece.
But while you're looking for it,
Yeah.
who are you communicating for? Is it the people or God or whoever?
Well, I'm communicating to the people what the world wants them to know.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sure. We'll get into your Hausa. What do you think, Philip?
Yeah, I like the fact that. So how many languages do you do?
Currently, English, Hausa, Tree. I understand Gam, but I do not really.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Interesting. I like the last one she ended with the Fugu Wednesday one. But ideally, how long does it take you to write the script and say, I would want to tell the world what the higher authority is saying through myself, that who is the linguist?
I think it depends actually. So if the piece example is something that is carefully planned, it takes me some time. But sometimes I might be there and I just receive inspiration, probably from a video I watched.
Wow.
Example, the piece I gave on 3S, which is the Nkrumah piece and slavery and all of that. It came from a video I came across about slavery. It was at midnight, and I really felt inspired to write a piece like that. And from the video, I came to understand that mostly it was the kings and queens that were selling the people out to the Europeans. So that is why it has a line that says that I bet you no European would have been able to take our people from our people without our own people covered in ropes and garments, taking our people from our people to the Europeans. So yeah, so I mean, that's how I usually write.
You've been doing this for 6 good years. Well,
Yeah.
you've been to the university already?
Currently in the university.
University.
Yeah.
And what are you doing there?
IT.
IT.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
IT
and then you're linguistic.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. That's interesting. So it's like a hobby, or?
Yeah,
it's
there's
like
more
a talent.
yeah.
Yeah. She's
All right.
naturally-
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, she should do this for what was
In
that?
Hausa,
Yeah,
Okay,
in
briefly.
Hausa.
Yeah.
Sarki sarautan maza, idan ka fito sai kowa na kasa, fiyayyen halitta ga kyau kaman wata. Idan ka tashi sai kana kowa an raba gari, manzan Allah ya raba wata yasa bawa Allah ka je ka zama domin kana damuwa. Makiyai sun yi sun kasa, kafurai sun gaji sun rasa. Ya Rasulullah, kowane rana muna yi maka godiya ga wanda ya kawo mana sako na Allah, ya nuna mana hanya, ya zamo jagora har abada za mu bi shi cikin bauta. So, yeah.
What is that supposed to mean? What is that?
So this piece actually
Yeah.
was written as praises to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
okay.
So it's just saying that it's just showing how we value the Prophet in Islam and how we see his how do I say? Yeah, same with the value and the fact that people. So there's
Sort
a
of
line.
his leadership?
His leadership.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Are you fasting?
Yes, I am.
And you're out here. Well done.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Anyway, so the 6 year period, you have performed at a number of places, like you mentioned dinner, lunches, and all that. So if somebody wants you for his or her event and wants you to do what you do best there, how is the person going to contact you?
Yeah, so they first of all reach out to me on social media, and my team handles it from there.
But will you want to share maybe your social media?
Yes. So
or maybe number or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So Nura the Linguist or Nura Mohammed. I have two different social media accounts. So Nura Mohammed, you can reach me out there on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Nura the Linguist on Facebook, Instagram. Right.
Beautiful. Nura, thank you so much for coming. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
IT person.
And a linguist at the same time.
That's interesting.
That's very, very interesting. Anyway, well done. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for us to check out our entertainment highlight of the day.
Well, hello and welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily, proudly powered by GhanaWeekend.com to bring you the freshest entertainment stories today. I am Ni Komete Kome. Renowned American R&B star Ronnie DeVoe and his wife Shamari DeVoe have officially become citizens of Ghana, joining 148 other members of the African diaspora sworn in during a ceremony in Accra. Now, the event, organized by the Diaspora Affairs Office at the Presidency and led by Kofi Ochredakun, is part of Ghana's initiative to reconnect people of African descent with their ancestral homeland. Out of thousands of applicants worldwide, 150 individuals were granted citizenship. DeVoe, best known as member of the legendary R&B group New Edition and the iconic trio Belle Biv DeVoe, described the moment as an emotional homecoming and reconnection to his African roots. The celebration continued in Accra as Ronnie and Shamari also marked their union with a wedding ceremony shortly after the citizenship event, turning the occasion into both a celebration of love and a powerful symbol of reconnection between the diaspora and the motherland. Now to our second highlight. All is set for this year's Telecel Ghana Music Awards nominees to be announced. The nominees' announcement will be broadcast live on TV3 on 14th March 2026, featuring hourly reviews from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., building up to the main announcement show at 8 p.m. Fans and music lovers across the country will have a chance to see who made the cut and which songs will compete for Ghana's most prestigious music awards. This year promises excitement, recognition, and a look back at songs, albums, and artists that have made a significant impact on the music scene, with categories spanning genres and acknowledging both mainstream and emerging talent. The Telecel Ghana Music Awards continues to champion Ghana's music industry while honoring the hard work and dedication of its artists. Now to the third highlight. The Chief Executive Officer of Aquaba UK, Dennis Teria, has weighed in on discussions surrounding the success of Ghanaian rapper Sarkodie following his sold-out Rapperholic concert at the iconic Royal Albert Hall in London. Dennis Teria took to Instagram to respond to comments by some pundits who appear to downplay the significance of Sarkodie's achievement. Now, in his post, he called for recognition of the milestone, emphasizing that selling out one of the world's most prestigious performance venues is a remarkable accomplishment. Respect the achievement. Selling out the Royal Albert Hall is no small feat. At Sarkodie and your team, Ayuko, unquote. Materia wrote on the Instagram post. Now his comments come in response to a video currently circulating online from the Showtime program aired on Adum TV on March 7, 2025, where panelists reportedly discuss Sarkodie's concert and raise questions about the skill and significance of the event. Now to our fourth highlight. Ghanaian actress Juliet Ibrahim has revealed that she remains open to remarrying someday despite the challenges she has faced in past relationships. Now speaking in an interview on Joy FM Showbiz A to Z, the actress responded positively when Kwame Dazi asked whether she would consider marriage again. "Yes, I will. Why not?" she said. Reflecting on lessons from her past, the film star explained her experience have helped her reassess what she truly wants in a relationship. According to her, personal growth and maturity have shaped her expectations, making her more focused on relationships that add value to her life rather than unnecessary pressure. She noted that at this stage in her life, she is clearer about the kind of partner she needs, someone who respects her ambitions and understands the demands of her career. Juliet emphasized that her work and public life require a partner who is supportive and willing to meet her halfway. "I'm not someone who will confine herself just to the bedroom and kitchen," she said, adding that her ideal partner must appreciate both her traditional values and her modern outlook. And that's a wrap on today's entertainment highlights on Breakfast Daily, proudly powered by GhanaWeekend.com. Now you know we've got you covered. From the hottest music releases to exclusive celebrity updates, stay tuned, stay connected, and keep your finger on the pulse of the world's entertainment. For more stories, behind-the-scenes content, and the latest updates, visit GhanaWeekend.com. Until next time, keep enjoying the vibes. I am Ni Komete Kome. Ago.
And there you have it. That was the entertainment highlight of the day. So before we call this an end of the show, we would like to remind you that there is a documentary that's going to be coming up, and this is brought to you by Channel 1 TV, Rags and Riches, a dual impact of used clothing, and it's going to be showing at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 12th of March, 2026. So you can save it in your calendars and in your reminders. It's all about thrift clothing in Ghana, which faces a severe crisis due to the overwhelming influx of low-quality fast fashion waste from the global north. And this documentary, Rags and Riches, takes a closer look at the whole value chain and the challenges involved. On the 12th of March, which is going to be on Thursday at 6:30. Make a date with us.
And also, happy birthday to Nathan Opon Kwache. The Lord bless you and keep you. And this particular message is coming from your dad, mom, and Uncle Kofi Profi Ayisen. They say happy birthday to you, Nathan Opon Kwache. Anyway, this is how we wrap up on the show.
Yeah. My name is Chris Carter, and Jude actually started the show. Jude Duncan started the show. And of course,
mention my name.
Philip and I would like to say thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow on a brand new episode of Breakfast Daily. Bye.
Bye. Go.